You know you made it big. What if someone kills you? It's not simply called murder. It's called assassination. And naturally, even assassinations, probably like most things in life, don't always go according to plan. Tonight, Assassinations That Failed gets deep, fat, fried.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the greatest podcast of all time, Deep Fat Fried! Anyway. Why is this old hack on the screen, Scotty? Get this old hack off the fucking screen, Scotty.
You'll be happy to know he's dead, TJ.
Good. May he
You'll be
rot.
happy to know
May
he's
he
fucking
rot in
dead.
hell. May he rot
he
in
is.
hell.
Oh,
There's a special place in hell for George Carlin for sure. He's rotten bad down there
Oh,
for
he's
sure.
fucking... Oh, he's fucking sick. He's sick.
One of the scummiest human beings that ever lived.
Oh.
One thing that sucks about George Carlin
True.
is everybody. Now that George Carlin is dead, he's on everybody's side. It's amazing. In life, rarely took anyone's side, but in death, everybody's side. So great.
I'm just gonna come out and be the brave one to say it because I'm tired of being the fucking sole secret bearer in the open secret. George Carlin killed a man in 1919.
Cool.
Wow.
And that's all I have to say about it. You know what I mean? I don't have any more information other than that, but I can just tell you straight out. George Carlin killed a man in 1919.
Damn. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
fucking-
George Carlin must have been a little bit older than people thought.
Yeah, I think George Carlin.
No, he's old. Look at him. He's old. He's definitely around in 1919.
Well, he was
And,
born in the 30s, but sure.
Born in the 30s. You believe that tripe?
the official version, TJ.
Yeah, I've got a bridge to sell you. I've got
guess.
some
I'm sorry.
oceanfront property in Arizona for you.
Well, hey, in a few years that might be true.
That's true.
Arizona.
You ever heard
Bay
that
bitch.
country song?
No.
There's a country song called Oceanfront Property in Arizona, I think it's, or maybe just Oceanfront Property, but the hook of it is, I got some oceanfront property in Arizona. From my front porch, you can see the sea. I got some oceanfront property in Arizona. If you'll buy that, I'll throw the Golden Gate in free. Like that's the hook of it. And
Sweet.
that might be true soon. The Golden Gate might be worth shit because it's underwater and there might be beaches in Arizona in the future. that song is gonna be fucking extra hilarious.
See you down in Arizona Bay,
Yep.
That was the Bill Hicks routine that was later adapted into the Tool song.
See you down in Arizona Bay.
That was
Enema.
Enema, yeah.
Great album.
Great song.
Great fucking album.
Great fucking song on a great fucking album from a great fucking
When I
band.
saw it, that there was a George Carlin quote on Assassination, I was like, well, you can sound smart and pull a quote, or you can just hear it from the fucking horse's mouth.
Do it.
I don't need to fucking talk for George Carlin.
Play him. Make him happen.
Humans do some really interesting things. Like, besides killing ourselves, we also kill each other. Murder. And we're the only ones who do that, by the way. Humans are the only species on Earth that deliberately kills members of another species for personal gain or pleasure. Sometimes it's just fun. We're also the only species that deliberately kills members of another species for personal gain or pleasure. That's what hunters do. They kill for pleasure. That's us. Human beings. Interesting folks. Murderers. Here's an interesting form of murder we come up with. Assassination. You know what's interesting about assassination? Well, not only does it change those popularity polls in a big fucking hurry, but it's also interesting to notice who it is we assassinate. Do you ever notice who it is? Stop to think of who it is we kill. It's always people who've told us to live together in harmony and try to love one another. Jesus, Gandhi, Lincoln, John Kennedy, Bobby Kennedy, Martin Luther King, Medgar Evers, Malcolm X, John Lennon. They all said, try to live together peacefully. Bam! Right in the fucking head. Apparently, we're not ready for that. Yeah, that's difficult behavior for us.
I mean, I don't know if that's I don't know if everybody that was assassinated had that message, but a lot of them did.
I just
it's
love
very
that
true.
take. And I just love the sort of philosophical leans of George Carlin. Doesn't really honestly play too much in the episode, but I like George Carlin, so I'm like, I'm gonna subject you guys to this fucking quote so you guys think about it.
I actually disagree with the beginning of that. Like, human beings are not the only species that kills other species for fun.
Yeah, George Carlin apparently
entertainment.
never had a cat. So I can say that much.
Yeah.
And,
Probably
you know, that's not the only species either. So it's like chimps do some fucking insane things to each other and to other animals.
Yeah, this is a fallacy. I think it's like the naturalist fallacy or what. It's basically just like the idea that nature is good and pure and wonderful and humans are bad, even though we're part of nature.
Yeah, I mean, it's based on a fucking flawed concept that we're somehow apart from nature, which just ain't the case.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Now, granted, I'll grant George this much. We are way worse than every other species on the face of the earth. But
sure. Yeah.
with the possible exception of mosquitoes, they might be worse. But they don't have moral agency, so whatever.
Yeah, they're just kind of just doing what they do.
But it is an interesting observation though that so many people who have like, yeah, live in peace, live in harmony with one another, tend to get shot in the fucking head by people who disagree very spiritedly.
It's a little bit more than a disagreement. just a little bit.
Not really. It's just a strongly worded disagreement. You know, I disagree. Boom. Now you are dead.
It's kind of crazy. It's kind of the duality of saying you must act. Like, you know, we have to do something to stop this person, and then it ends up being translated into, and it's kind of the slippery slope we see now with like political violence. You know, it of course, and a lot of the examples of this episode we're going to talk about are obviously politically motivated, and you can kind of see that it's like the difference between, you know, change within the system and change from without.
Yeah.
So the first one here, do you guys know who this is?
Well, I mean, it says General Jackson down at the bottom, so I'm going to say President Jackson.
Trump's favorite president, by the way. So this is Andrew Jackson.
Because he's the
year is
best
1835. I thought this was kind of actually an interesting attempt on his life because, by most accounts, it probably would have fucking worked. On
What went
January
wrong?
30th, you're about to find out. 1835, Andrew Jackson became the first American president to experience an assassination attempt. So he made it a good amount of time, like 30, 40 years, you know, maybe you can be generous, like say 50 years before we tried to kill the president. Richard Lawrence, an unemployed house painter, approached Jackson as he left a congressional funeral held in the House chamber of the Capitol building and shot at him, but his gun misfired. Oh, the old misfire, dude. That gun
that's
probably
just bad
fired,
luck, you know? Because I mean, like,
yeah.
I mean, I guess probably more common back then for guns to misfire, but like, still, you got to figure like most of the time your gun did not misfire, like, you know.
Well, and not only did he have one gun misfire, TJ, he had the old fucking the thing you love in video games, the dual pistols.
Oh man,
he had two pistols, and they both misfired.
What the fuck? Okay, well, obviously, like the forces of history intervened and would not allow Andrew Jackson to die.
So in this shot, you can see the guy, he's fired. There's a gun on the ground already. But Andrew Jackson did not just simply go, oh, okay, I'm saved, and people grab him, and he's rushed away, and people rush the other guy, and he's arrested and taken to jail.
Uh-huh.
Andrew Jackson beat the shit out of this dude with his cane.
That's awesome.
I gotta say, I don't fucking condone a lot of the actions of Andrew Jackson, particularly the Trail of Tears stands out as an egregious example of some of his more extreme policies that I do not fucking support. However, setting that aside, I gotta tell you, the fact that this dude tried to kill him, and instead of him ducking behind some fucking agent, he whooped the dude with his own cane and just... That's a fucking pimp. That's a pimp. That type of man is so rare these days that they just don't exist almost anymore, man. I'm telling you, it's just like a holdover from another time. This is a beautiful thing.
Another thing about Jackson, he was chronically ill throughout most of his life. Like, there's a really, like, I would love to do a biography on him just to show people how fucked up he is. But how much of his life, and I kind of believe this, if you believe the accounts that he was like, he suffered from a number of fucking diseases, intestinal issues and blood disorders and shit like that, and infectious diseases, he might not have been such a fucking dick.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I mean, it's speculative, but who fucking knows, man?
Hey, you know what? Why the fuck not speculate? In fucking 100 years, people might believe my crazy theory is the truth.
Hell yeah, that's true.
I mean, all we know for a
fact, we know that from doing this show.
All we know for a fact is that he whooped this motherfucker's ass with his cane. He gave him a Brooklyn beatdown right there on the fucking steps of the Capitol, man. He fucking whooped this motherfucker's ass. Look at him go.
Bet you this dude's wishing he brought a cane instead of a gun. I'll
beat him to death with a more pistol.
Yeah.
If he brought a fucking sword, maybe he would have got one over on him.
Yeah, hey, or a sword. That never misfires. You never slice someone with a sword and it just doesn't work, you know? It always works 100% of the time.
The riddle of steel, TJ. Beast you cannot trust, man you cannot trust.
He got his ass whooped by the president, dude. How lowly do you feel after getting your butt whooped by the president?
Yeah, like imagine if you fucking went to assassinate Trump or something and he just fucking grabbed a stapler and started stapling you in the head or some shit.
Dude, if this is presented this way, and I assume that this is taken from at least a period thing or it's some older depiction of this.
Yeah, I believe
you gotta understand if it's depicted in this way, which is so evocative of a beatdown about to happen, I don't even know what to tell you. Then you know that the beatdown that was received is probably something out of a fucking modern horror film.
Oh god, yeah.
I'm sure that Andrew Jackson did not hold back.
I mean, Andrew Jackson was not exactly known for his merciful nature, you know? So I'm pretty sure he probably beat this guy nearly to death.
TJ, I don't know if Dad ever told you this story, but I remember this story he told me, when he's working at this bar and restaurant. This after he got out of jail and everything.
Uh-huh.
And he had a dispute with this guy that worked there. And it was this dude was a bartender, much younger than our dad, way better shape than our dad. And they get into a disagreement about something. I can't remember what he told me. It was just some bullshit. I think it was pay or money or some shit. And our dad, he just had a smart mouth. And he wasn't in a position of power, but he didn't give a fuck. He's like, no, I'm going to be a fucking dick. Actually, no, he was the bartender. That's right. He was the bartender and the guy was the manager.
Gotcha. And
he said some shit and the guy's like, what'd you say kind of shit? And he's just coming after our dad. Our dad's like, oh shit, I'm about to get my ass beat. But there just happened to be a fucking stick or something. I don't know what he said, but a club. It was basically it functioned as a club. And the guy was coming at him. He just happened to, he didn't know that our dad had that. He just swung around. The guy didn't even see us and just knocked the dude in the head and just beat the dude's ass with it. He's like, man, I was glad that was there. Cause you just happened to have that, saved his ass from a fucking serious ass beating.
So, I think that this,
I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, I wasn't there. It
could
have been a hot sauce story.
Dude, you know what? Your story about your dad made me think of a story about my dad that's kind of related. It's short. It's a short little anecdote.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, if it's related, who cares?
But who was it? Which president was it that said "speak softly but carry a big stick"?
I think that's Jackson. I don't think it was a president that said that.
I thought it was.
Roosevelt.
Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, my dad said, look, we had this like really rude run-in with a dude at one point at a mechanic shop
Oh shit.
where the guy, and this is not uncommon, the mechanic that worked at the shop was real shitty
Not at all.
and like dismissive and like arrogant and pompous and like
Real prick.
outright like provocative to my dad, right? And I watched my dad, and he just loaded me up. He just said, boy, get in the car. And he just drove away. And I remember I was young when this happened. I was probably like 8 or 7, something like that. And I remember asking him, and you got to imagine, this is paraphrased through my memory. I'm a 40-year-old man now. So, the conversation, the contents, I remember, the actual words, I don't. Okay. But I said something to him to the effect of, Dad, why don't you say something or do something to that guy? Like, why don't you beat that guy up? And he said, because it ain't worth the time. And I told him something that I'd heard on the playground. And I was like, doesn't that make you like a pussy or whatever the fucking nomenclature was, a wussy or whatever we were calling each other on the playground?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And he pulled the fucking car over immediately. And he said, boy, if you ever fucking call me a wussy or whatever I called him again, I'm going to beat your fucking ass. And he said, you want to know the difference between that and that in there? Why I didn't beat that guy's ass and why I would beat your ass if you ever say that to me again? And I said, how do you respond? Yeah. He said, because that guy ain't never going to amount to shit. So he's not worth my time. Look where we are. And I looked up and we were like one block from another mechanic. And he said, you might amount to something someday. So I will fuck you up if you call, like that. Basically, it was like an illustrative moment for me.
Right.
On like, I could still be there waiting for the cops after I got in a punch up with that idiot. Or while you misunderstood, I drove to the other mechanic.
Right.
you know?
Yeah, obviously the more wise move between the two.
Absolutely. My favorite assassination quote. And do you have any more? Information about this one?
Oh no, we're about to move on. But if you have
Okay.
anything
Well,
else
I just want to. My favorite assassination quote was actually from the movie Unforgiven. You remember English Bob from Unforgiven?
Yes,
I remember the character. I don't remember the quote.
Well, the movie takes place just after the president has been assassinated. Not Lincoln. I think it was
Garfield.
Yeah, I think it was Garfield. And not the cat, the president.
Yeah, the cat. The cat's
no, the cat. He assassinated. Yeah, cat was president briefly. No, English Bob says, I have the quote here on IMDb page here. If you were to try to assassinate a king, sir, how shall I say it? The aura of royalty would cause you to miss. But a president? I mean, why not shoot a president? Always love that line. Because everyone around him looks at him like. Now later, of course, Bill does get his comeuppance for that kind of talk, but in that moment, Bob, not Bill. Bill's the guy who gives him the comeuppance.
Yeah, little Bill gives him his comeuppance. Yeah.
I have a question for Scotty.
Sure.
And I won't reveal anything about it if it's true, but I just want to know: are you going to cover Sam Bick or not tonight?
I am not. So if you want to bring that to the table at some point in this episode,
cool.
Feel free. If you look with my episodes, guys, if you guys have information or something that you have an insight into, it is always welcome.
Well, I did a monologue. TJ might remember it because I remember him liking it way back in the day from Stephen Sondheim's Assassins, where I portrayed Sam Bick. It was actually an audition monologue that I was working at the time, and I decided to film it and put it on the internet. And I did some basic editing to it too. I added some car sounds and shit, and it came out pretty good. And it's pretty short. I don't know if we'll play it. Maybe we could play it on the show tonight. But I'll pull up Sam Bick's and just give like a cursory thing at the end, maybe, and just let you know like how his attempt failed. Because
who did he attempt to assassinate again?
Nixon.
Okay.
You know what? I might actually have that in here now that you mention it.
Yeah, just take
Actually, you know what I do? Actually, you know what? My stoned ass is dumb. I do. So
Okay,
yeah, when
fair.
that parks up, you know what? Then I'll let you do that then.
If you want, like, we don't have to watch it if you guys don't want.
No, of course. No.
It's
I
old
mean,
too, so the quality
Oh,
on it is not
no,
great. But
like I said,
I'll pull
no.
it up.
Yeah, pull it up, and when we get to that part, you'll definitely know.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay, so the next fucking president, because you know what? Being a president, I kind of learned a lot of people want to kill you. This country's pretty fucking crazy. A lot of people want to take you out.
Absolutely.
That's actually not the right one. That's actually Theodore Roosevelt, but I pulled that because I did recall we already talked about that. Another Roosevelt, though. But this is Franklin Roosevelt, 1933. 5 wounded by gunmen at meeting for Roosevelt.
Enhance.
The Miami Herald, the newspaper from the time.
Enhance, Scotty. Make it as
Enhance.
big. Make it as big as the screen will allow you to do. There you go. Just do that with all the pictures. 5 wounded by gunmen.
Do TJ? Look, I like you, TJ.
I have to, because otherwise I can't fucking even see
I
it with this
fucking
quad
like
view.
you, TJ. But don't ever tell me what to do again.
You know what? I'm gonna assassinate you, Scotty. Actually, you're not important enough to
I'm
assassinate.
not important enough to be assassinated.
Dude,
That's
that
true.
is one of
be
the
murdered.
that I got to tell you guys that the eventual Machiavellian assassination of one of you by the other is a business consideration that I've had to take into account. You know what I mean?
Sure. I mean, that makes sense.
I know it's coming one of these days. One of these days, it's going to get so heated between the two of you that one of you is going to hire like a Colombian hit squad on the other or something.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I don't think it'll actually ever get there.
No.
I hope.
Yeah. You know. I don't know.
If it does, though, if it does, will you guys know that I will go along with whatever regime is left in place after the assassination? I need not be included.
No, you won't. Who do you think's gonna get framed for the murder? Come on.
No, that's
can't
stupid.
believe
Nobody's gonna
Paul was
believe
so
that I
disgruntled.
fucking did it. Nobody's gonna believe it.
Oh well, how'd your hair get at the fucking crime scene then? It doesn't make any sense.
Because you planted it there. So.
Yeah, well, maybe. I don't know.
Crumbs is Paul is guilty.
I mentioned I contributed to the sheriff's re-election campaign too. It's strange.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
how convenient.
Well, so did I. How much did you give him?
More than you, $1 more.
A dollar
Oh,
more than
shit.
you did.
No, yeah. What's going on here? See, like, just make it big because I can't see it.
You can't see that, TJ?
No.
I guess that sheriff's a rich fuck.
He's a
See
rich
that,
boy.
TJ?
Yeah,
Can you see
bigger,
That's as big as
Scotty.
it gets.
Go bigger,
Like
go
that.
home.
Look at that guy. Look at the crowd of people. They're all kind of like, whoa, oh shit, what's going on?
Whoa, man. Cool.
Whoa.
All right.
There we go. Got fucking
So, what's
Roosevelt.
going on here?
No, nothing, dude. Actually, there was an assassination attempt. Just want to have a picture of Roosevelt. No,
Cool.
something happened to him, TJ. Something happened to him.
What happened, Scotty? What
On
happened?
February 15th, 1933, a deranged, unemployed bricklayer named, is this right? Thomas James Kirk III shouts, "Too many people are starving." Actually, the guy's name was Giuseppe Zangara. And he apparently
Zangara.
shouted, "Too many people are starving." And he fires a gun at America's president-elect, Franklin D. Roosevelt. Zangara shot 5 times at Roosevelt, so there was no misfire here. He wounded 4 people and killed then Chicago Mayor Anton Cermak.
Damn.
Not
Damn,
Roosevelt,
indeed.
though. Several men tackled the assailant and might have beaten him to death if Roosevelt had not intervened, telling the crowd to leave justice to the authorities. Who knows if that happened, but that's what we see here.
Didn't the other Roosevelt do that too?
Yes, he
Yeah.
did.
It's just a pattern. History is a fucking time is a flat circle, man. What the fuck? Shit just repeats itself.
Time is a flat circle. The black star, TJ. The black star.
So Zangara later claimed, "I don't hate Mr. Roosevelt personally. I hate all officials and anyone who is rich."
I mean, that's fair.
He also
who
told the
doesn't though? That isn't one of those things. I mean, come on. Let's be real.
Hell yeah.
He also told the FBI that chronic stomach pain led to his action. "Since my stomach hurt, I want to make even with the capitalists by kill the president." My stomach hurt long time, he told them.
My stomach hurt long time.
My stomach hurt long time. That's what he said.
Yes. Well, I think he had kind of broken English.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
My
that's what I'm
stomach hurt long
his name is
time.
Giuseppe Zangara, Paul.
Jingabadi babadi boobity boobity.
My
My
bad,
stomach
my bad,
hurt. It hurt, Paul. Oh no, Paul, my
Zangara.
stomach.
It's like Mario. Please, Paul, my stomach hurt.
It just makes me think of the scene in Full Metal Jacket where the hooker approaches them and she's like, "Me love you long time. Me fucky sucky."
Fucky
Sorry.
sucky $5.
Did she sucky
shit, what's
fucky
it
though?
racist?
Oh yeah,
I
she
don't-
did. The whole
she
troop.
did.
Cool.
Did she say fucky sucky?
She does. She said, "Me fucky sucky.
Yeah, that
Me
is
love
true.
you
Okay.
long
No.
time."
Fucky sucky.
Zangara
Maybe I will watch
was
Full Metal Jacket. That sounds pretty cool.
Dude,
see,
you
yeah.
have the fact that you haven't seen it is a travesty, but let's not get derailed. Scotty,
Yeah,
Alright,
TJ,
sorry.
please, TJ. Don't
Sorry.
even
your
fucking.
absurdity,
don't even go there.
TJ, knows no bounds.
That's fine. I believe
Yeah,
it.
disclaimer: TJ's a moron.
I love this show so much.
Sorry.
Ain't it a peach?
Zangara was executed, TJ, in
Uh-huh.
Florida's infamous Old Sparky. That sounds like a great place to go. I didn't know it was infamous. I don't wanna
Oh, Sparky.
go down to Old Sparky, boy.
Did you pull a
Oh,
picture of old
Sparky.
Sparky, dude?
I didn't, but I can look for one if you want.
Let me go look and see it myself and see if it's worth pulling up. Like if it looks
Yeah, you go
especially.
find and see if Old Sparky.
No,
is worth
my
it.
it's cooler in your imagination. Just let it be that.
For Sir Mac's murder on March 20th. They executed people a lot quicker in the country. Killed them on the 15th, March 20th, same year. He's worm food.
Worm.
Another
food.
president. Just a few years later, 1950. We're going to move on to. Oh, this is just. I actually did not show you guys this. This is Giuseppe Zangara, the man who tried to kill Roosevelt.
I mean, is he really? I take umbrage with this selection, Scotty,
Why?
because he killed the mayor, didn't he? That's an assassination. So he is
That
not
wasn't-
a failed assassin. He's a successful assassin. He just didn't get.
Well, his intended target was Roosevelt, the president.
Yeah, well, you know.
So it was a
Sometimes-
failed
well, you know.
assassination of Roosevelt.
Sometimes to get to the moon, you got to aim for the stars, Scotty. You know what I mean?
Isn't if you aim for the moon?
I don't know,
or aim for
Scotty. I don't know the
stars, you end up-
saying.
I don't fucking know. It's just some fucking feel good cliche bullshit, anyways.
Yeah, well, you know, hey, he did what he needed to do, Scotty. You know, why you dissing him?
Well, he didn't though. He
Why
just had
you
his
diss?
stomach-
Why you not give him his props, Scotty? Why you dissing on him?
Because
Yeah.
my
You
stomach hurt long time.
Why you gots to be a player hater?
That's all I want to know,
The
Scotty.
Well, the capitalists did it to me, guys, and my stomach has hurt a long time.
Oh man.
That's my
Oh.
excuse.
Okay,
Okay.
So I
I
mean,
mean, that's fair.
I
you know,
see.
know what you want about me, but my stomach hurt a long time.
Fair enough.
You guys recognize this gentleman here? I told you who it was a second ago.
That's
Um,
Truman.
That is
Harry.
right.
Yeah.
Harry. Good old Harry. Honest Harry is what they called him.
So this is 1950.
I always heard they called him Big Dick Harry.
His campaign slogan was I screw men with Truman.
Yeah.
He's a very progressive guy.
I think this one might have actually been the one who ran on Wild About Harry as his campaign slogan.
I'm just wild about Harry. He's
I
the
believe you're
only
right.
Harry, so
Yeah.
it would have to be him.
And also, basically it was totally impoverished after he left the presidency, I believe. But I could be thinking of
Damn.
another president.
Tell me who was not wild about Harry? Who tried to end Harry's life, Scotty?
I mean, the never-ending blisses of his kisses did fill me with ecstasy. So
right.
there
So
is
like,
that.
why? Who would want to deprive the world of that?
He is as sweet as cotton candy.
Scotty, this image, Scotty. Come on.
Is that big enough for
You
you?
gotta blow it up.
Come on,
Oh,
Scotty.
are you sure? TJ?
Come on,
TJ, are
please,
you
Scotty.
sure?
Please.
Can I put on my
Oh my God.
bifocals real
He's
quick?
making it
Hold on.
smaller. He's making it smaller.
No,
Yeah.
it's getting bigger.
Move
I
it
can
further
read
back.
It's
Move it further
it's-
back. It's too fucking
there you
big.
go. There you
See
go.
if you can make
How
it the
about this?
size of a fucking
Good?
pixel. Yeah, that's great. Wonderful. I love it. It's the
All right,
best thing I've ever
all right, here
seen.
you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's fan-fucking-tastic. I love it so much.
You're welcome, dude. You're welcome in advance. So who would kill the president, TJ? Who would kill everyone who's wild about Harry?
Yeah.
2 Puerto Rican pro-independence activists walked right up to the Blair House, pictured here.
Some
where
Puerto
Truman was
Rican
staying.
guy, huh?
2.
Yeah,
Couple
two
of Puerto Ricans.
Fucking Puerto Ricans, man.
They
Trying
knew
to kill
Truman was
our
staying
good
there,
old president.
and they showed up there to do with the intent to assassinate Truman. One of the men distracted Secret Service agents, while the other approached a guard booth and killed the guard inside. Ah, clever guy.
Damn, these guys were like way more pro than these other dudes have been. Like, you guys notice how it's getting more sophisticated as time goes on?
Yeah.
Since the guy that got his ass whooped by Jackson's cane.
I mean, that
You know what
guy,
I mean?
that guy really should have succeeded, though. Like, the fact that 2 guns failed is kind of crazy. I mean, unless the dude just had cheap, shitty guns, which I'm assuming.
I mean, he was too stupid to test it. He's too stupid to do it right.
yeah.
And he got his ass whooped. You know what I mean? That's not a very sophisticated attempt. And now we got dudes that are like sneaking onto the fucking grounds where the president is and fucking killing guards. And
Yeah, there's like a Die Hard sequence to this, you know?
So if you look in the picture here, guys, it shows you the bedroom where the president viewed the gun battle.
Mm-hmm.
So of course they killed the guard on the inside of the guardhouse. And then this is where it gets fucking pretty crazy. So one of the activists was only 31 feet away from Truman.
yeah.
Both men, though, both the assassins were killed by gunfire. One at the hand of the other, and one by the Secret Service.
What happened there? What about that first one? Why did one of them kill the other one?
Well, my reading and what I assumed was that basically just a fuck up, like just being panicked, not really knowing what to do.
Was it like a Larry Moe and Curly thing? Was he like, "You knucklehead, this is going to shit and it's all your fault"? Blam! Oh, you got me, Moe! Like, or was it like accidental? Did the dude try?
I would assume it was accidental. From what the account that I read, it didn't really get too much into that. It just said it was killed by basically friendly fire. But I would assume probably panicked because I mean they probably didn't even see this other guardhouse or expect it to be any other guard.
Yeah. So you think what happened is they got separated and got caught up in each other's crossfire probably and weren't prepared for this eventuality, didn't stick together. Or
Well, they
whatever.
probably only had an idea about like what was like going on the very outskirts of like the perimeter and shit. And they probably just
Yeah.
didn't realize like what was actually in store for them once they got in.
Yeah.
so
Well, you can see where the 2 of them died, right? That's where the 2 little iron crosses are, right? Where the 2 of them died.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
believe
the one on the left, it says Path of Terroristo slain assassin. Oh, no. Okay. So that's one of the dudes that died there. And then who's Colazzo? Was he the guard or was he one of the guys? Or was Birdzell one of the guys?
Colazzo is one of the assassins.
Okay. So Colazzo. So from what I can read from your little diagram that's up here, it looks like they came in from different ways. And definitely got caught in each other's crossfire, and that's how it happened. Because you can see Terrasolo, he got in on the left and was killed there by one of these other dudes. Who was Birdzell? Was he the third man that was involved?
So there's a number of people involved in it. I didn't pull too many of the details, but okay. So the nationalist, it was Tauricio and Oscar Colozzo.
Okay.
Those are the 2 people who were involved in the attempt.
Okay, so Birdzell must be the dude they killed, the guard shack guy.
Yeah. So basically, Torcello approached the Blair house, which you can see, I think, which is that house featured here. Okay. I pulled up some more information on it. He walked behind the Capitol Police officer, Donald Birdzell, who was standing on the steps of the Blair house. President Truman was upstairs, basically taking a nap, doing whatever the fuck he was doing. Colasso tried to shoot Birdzell in the back, but failed to chamber a round in his pistol, and the gun did not fire. He then chambered around and fired a weapon just as Birdzell was turning around to face him, and he shot the officer in the right knee. After hearing the gunshots, Secret Service agent Vincent Moraz ran through a basement corridor, stepping out to street-level door on the east side of the house, and he opened fire on Collazo. Moraz stopped Collazo with a bullet to the chest while he was on the entrance steps. 2 other officers also shot Collazo in what was described as the biggest gunfight in Secret Service history.
Damn.
So the other assassin, meanwhile, Torresol, had approached a guard booth in the west corner, where he took the White House police officer Leslie Coffett by surprise, shooting 4 times at close range and mortally wounding him with a 9x19 mm German Luger. 3 of those shots struck Coffett in the chest and abdomen, and the 4th went through his tunic. Terresola shot police officer Joseph Downs in the hip before he could draw his weapon. As Downs turned toward the house, Teresa shot him in the back and the neck. Downs got into the basement and secured a door, denying the attacker entry into the Blair house. Terresolo moved to the shootout between his partner, Collazo, and several other police officers, shooting Donald Bridzel on the left knee. Bridzel could no longer stand and was effectively incapacitated, although he would later recover. Terresolo was standing in the left of the door, Blair House steps to reload when President Truman looked out of his second-floor window, 31 feet from the attacker. So he looked down like, oh shit, someone's at my doorstep, basically. And forced to get the fuck away from the window. At the same time, Coffett left the guard booth propped up against and fired his .38 caliber service revolver at Torresola about 30 feet away. He hit him 2 inches above the ear, killing him instantly. Coffett limped back to the booth and blacked out. Taken to the hospital, he died 4 hours later. Damn.
Pretty fucked up. I mean, way more sophisticated than any of the other attempts we've talked about tonight, for sure. This was
Basically,
the first.
Collazo, they're saying, was an inexperienced idiot. That's why he didn't even have, think about that. He didn't have a round chambered. That's
Right.
retarded.
I mean, both of them were pretty fucking dumb if one of these dudes died to friendly fire. So, yeah, they're, but still more sophisticated than the dude that walked up with 2 fucking pistols that were armed improperly and got the fuck beat out of him by Andrew Jackson.
Well, there's no evidence they were armed improperly. The weapons just misfired.
Okay,
I'm a defender of whoever that first guy was. What was his name, Scotty?
A lot of fucking misfires, especially on those old fucking pack pistols, are because they were fucking not tested or fucking loaded properly.
What was his name, Scotty?
Which one?
The first guy, the Andrew Jackson guy.
Oh, the Andrew Jackson guy. His name was Richard Lawrence.
Yeah, he was the greatest failed assassin of all time. Just had shitty run of luck. Because you know what? His plan was simple. Walk up to the president, shoot him. It doesn't seem like anything could even go wrong with that. But it did. These guys, their plan was overly complicated, It's no wonder they fucking failed.
So was his. Like you said, if he brought a club, he would have won.
Yeah, maybe.
Andrew Jackson had a.
If he would have stopped along his way and snapped a sufficiently sized tree branch off of a tree, he would have won that encounter.
Yeah, then he would have at least had something to counter fight with, because once your gun doesn't fire,
counter fight. He would have walked up behind Andrew Jackson and cracked his skull open with a fucking giant tree branch, and that would have been it. He would have accomplished his goal.
Tree branches don't misfire,
They don't.
So of course you guys will recognize this president. This is JFK.
Yeah. But who's this old guy? That's not Lee Harvey Oswald. And hey, Scotty, this is an episode about failed assassinations.
Yes, I know. Because originally I was just gonna do assassins, but then I was like, you know what? If I did, cause I thought about the Kennedy assassination. I'm like, oh god, that would go on endlessly. But how about a time that it failed?
Especially with me, by the way, because I'm basically Oliver Stone when it comes to the Kennedy assassination. I believe the whole thing was an elaborate setup that 90 million people were in on. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, that's exactly why I was like, oh, that's a topic for its own. So this is 73-year-old at the time, of course, Richard Pavlik. So he intended to crash his car, loaded up with dynamite, into Kennedy's car.
Shit.
I mean, yeah, dude. Like I said, they're getting more and more sophisticated. Like, I'll crash my car. Oh, it's an accident.
This is like some Al Qaeda. This is like some early Al Qaeda shit.
Yeah.
car bombs and shit.
I've heard of car bombs. I've never heard of someone trying to turn a fucking, like, I've never heard of anyone driving the car that's the bomb. Usually
Is this
it's like
the first suicide bomber? No, because
probably
the
not.
fucking kamikazes existed.
Yeah.
But I mean, like,
For sure.
like for a car though, is this the first suicide car bomber? No, that probably happened in those wars too.
Probably not, but I mean, hey, it fucking could be. I can't summon up an example that proves it's not. So
For terrorism though, not necessarily as an act of war, but for terrorism.
Perhaps. I mean, I really don't know. That's an interesting kind of question there. But unfortunately for Mr. Pavlik here, the morning he intended to do this, JFK did not leave his house that morning. Can't kill someone if they don't leave their house like that, so had to wait.
damn. So next day,
Yep. He made his way to his limousine with his wife, Jacqueline, and his children, Carolyn and John, who was at the time less than a month old. While Pavlik was willing to kill John F. Kennedy, he didn't want to kill Kennedy's family. So he
Right.
resigned himself to try again another day. Unfortunately for him, he wouldn't get a second chance. He was pulled over for a moving violation a few days later. He still had dynamite in his car, and the Secret Service obviously was on to him at that point, and he was arrested. So having a conscience, if he didn't give a shit, maybe this thing would have worked. Maybe Kennedy there never would have been a big conspiracy theory about how Kennedy was killed, because this guy would have done it.
yeah, I mean, it sounds like. I mean, if he'd been a more ruthless dude and just been like, I don't care if I kill his family or whatever, he probably would have fucking succeeded.
This also happens in Scarface.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe
I'm
they
not
probably
exact
based it on that.
circumstance.
Honestly, it sounds like they might have based that scene in Scarface on this actual incident.
Sorry about that. My door. It kind of sucks now because they used to send my packages to the fucking office and then I could go pick them up. But now because of COVID, they knock on my door.
Yeah, I
You
gotcha.
got a sign.
So boo. Anyway,
So this guy basically, Paul, he fucking was gonna run his car into Kennedy. Kennedy didn't come out that day. Then the next day, Kennedy came out, but he had his family with him, and he didn't want to kill Kennedy's whole family. So he's like, I'll just come back another day. But then he got pulled over for a moving violation before he could try again, and was
I see.
discovered.
Of course,
Oh,
having the
shit.
dynamite in your car, for the plot, it's a little bit damning.
Yeah.
Sir, do you normally drive around with dynamite? Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
yes,
It's
sir, I
fine.
do. I certainly do. I would have the dynamite in my car.
I have every right.
sir.
Do you have any idea what his motivation was, Scotty, or did I miss that? Did he state like it was like, what was his political ideology? What was he trying to do? Did it say anything about that?
I did not pull information on actually that. I didn't go too deep into some of these.
Okay.
But so I don't really know the answer to that question, but it could definitely be explored further. Because I mean, look, there's honestly with the president, there's quite a number of these.
Gotcha. Yeah. Everybody.
So how about
Everybody wants to assassinate a president. I mean, come on. Nixon.
What about President Reagan here?
so this is well, not Reagan, but Nixon. This is Nixon.
President Reagan.
Reagan.
President Reagan.
This is Reagan. I mean, I fucking know that face anywhere. It's President Reagan. Anyway,
That there
he
is
tries to-
President Tricky Dick Reagan.
yeah. Tricky Dick Reagan. Yeah.
They're all the same. They're all the
Me?
fucking same. They're all the fucking same.
Oh my
So-
God, I'm so stupid. This is George W. Bush. It's just black and white. Scotty's trying to fool us.
George Washington is what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, this is an old painting of
What
George
happened there?
Washington.
We try to have TJ and Paul talk about history.
Whatever. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Who tried to kill Nixon? And
Yeah, there he is, about to sign the Magna Carta. Yeah, dude, I know everything about this.
I do.
Of course you do. All right, well, TJ, take over.
There he is trying to sign the Magnum condom, just like you said.
Yeah, the Magnum condom. That's it. Yeah.
So this one, I'm glad that Scotty pulled it because I actually like all of these are interesting, and this is one that I actually know a lot about the dude because like I said, I used this piece for a fucking audition. So
Well, this is the one before that. So I might. This actually is the one that happened.
this is yeah. Gotcha.
But the next one, yeah. Then
Lots
your
of- there was
time
a-
to shine is nigh, Paul.
There was a
I
line.
forgot there were 2 on Nixon.
Yeah, there was a line to assassinate Nixon. You know how it is.
Get in line, TJ. So Arthur Bremer intended to shoot Nixon when he was visiting Parliament Hill in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. I've warned you guys about these Canadians. You guys
Yeah.
laughed at me.
I mean,
Like
like
an example, our president, TJ,
a U.S. president is not safe in Canada. It's just proof.
they're not.
No one is. Least of all
Uh,
Canadians.
But
Well,
luckily,
yeah, but who cares about them? You know.
But luckily, of course, Nixon had a crack security team, so he was unable to get a good shot or get too close because there's just too much security due to the Vietnam War protests. So security was too tight. He attempted to get close to him, but he really couldn't even get anywhere fucking close to Nixon. But he didn't give up entirely. You know, he wasn't just content. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to just give up. I can't get Nixon. I'm going to go for somebody else. So he settled for shooting Democratic presidential candidate George Wallace a month later.
He's like, I'm going to assassinate some fucking buddy. I mean,
Yeah, look, I
goddamn.
can't assassinate Nixon. Well, he's like, you know what? I can't get to Nixon. Nixon is fucking, you know, he's an authoritarian motherfucker. He's got way too much security. They ain't letting anyone get near Nixon. There's a fucking war going on. There's massive fucking protests in the country. You ain't getting near Nixon.
Right.
But some other dude like George Wallace, I get close to him.
Yeah. Easy enough to get to Wallace.
And here
Come
we
on.
go.
Impeach Nixon now before inflation drives the cost of impeachment sky high. Had enough inflation. Impeach the inflator.
So this is as Paul stated, and as Paul talked about, this is Samuel Bick. I don't know how much, Paul, you want to talk about the history of him, but we can.
You can go ahead. No, I'm sure you pulled a good
yeah.
history and a good covering of the events of the day.
You know, probably a shorter synopsis. I think Paul will probably have a lot more details, especially because he studied this guy. So Samuel Bick, a former tire salesman, had been down his luck for some time. When he decided to try the take back the government for the people by assassinating the president. You know, I mean, that's an effective way, right, guys? You kill Richard Nixon, you take back the country.
Yeah. The
That makes
dude was
sense, right?
the dude was legitimately pretty fucking insane. Like he basically walked away from a successful business and went on what he knew to be a suicide mission because he was sick of a laundry list of social ills that, you know, all of them are good fucking points. You know, inflation was just one of his things. He was also very against foreign nationals buying up huge tracts of America, which has continued, by the way, and is now a huge problem in America.
What's a safe haven for their money, basically?
Exactly.
Property holdings in the U.S. His wife, 2 years before, had left him, taking their kids as well.
Yep.
So he lost his family, which is another thing. Like, hey, that's another thread cut that's gonna kind of pull you back down and say, hey, maybe you shouldn't do this. So they're gone out of his life.
Right.
To some degree. He's also having trouble keeping a job, and recently had been rejected by the U.S. Small Business Administration for a loan to start his own business.
Yep.
Something he was extremely bitter about. Bick's plan was to take control of an airliner and then force the pilots to fly the plane into the White House.
Yep.
Man, sounds like some other event we've all heard about. Samuel took control of the airliner, shot both the pilot and the co-pilot, and told a passenger to fly the plane. Obviously, that's not going to necessarily work. You can't just tell the fucking passenger, hey, you know what? You just take over now.
Get behind the wheel there and fly this beast right into the fucking White House.
Bick was shot through the glass of an aircraft door and ended up finishing himself off before the police could make their way into the cockpit.
Yep.
That's the version I have, Paul. If there's anything that you dispute or take account with, be happy to hear it. I'm not saying that you are, but I'm just saying if you have anything to add to that.
No, that was a good summary of the events that kind of led up to it. He was just kind of a tortured guy. There is evidence that he had kind of a tortured childhood as well. You know, just kind of just kind of had a shitty life and had a shitty string of luck. You know, a divorce does a lot. You know, it's a tough thing to go through. Anybody that's been through one will tell you. And
so is that like the main thing that prompted it more than anything else, is the divorce, or was it like?
Well, no, I mean, like it was everything. You know, it was the
It
divorce, it was the
dude.
shitty string of luck, it was the shitty string of jobs, it was the shitty string of fucking banks telling him no when he wanted to start a business. It was the shitty state of politics as he saw it,
Right.
the shitty state of the country.
Look at this sign here, TJ, that he's
Yeah.
holding. It reads, "Impeach Nixon now, before inflation drives the cost of impeachment sky high." Think about that later. Sky high.
Got it.
Had enough inflation, impeach the inflator.
And then he decided to impeach him with by crashing a plane into the White House, which
Right.
probably would not have worked to assassinate Nixon. I mean, you know.
Probably not, but hey,
Did he have any?
fucking-
Did he have any flight training at all? Like, did he know how to pilot a plane? No. Okay.
No, not at all.
So there was pretty
None
much
at
zero.
all.
There was pretty much no chance of this actually succeeding.
No.
I mean, if he had kept the pilots alive, he might have at least been able to get the plane in the air. But no, they wouldn't have allowed it to crash into the. Even if they did,
I mean, even
the
if it did
president would have
crash
been
in the
nowhere
White
near it.
House, like the president probably would have been out of there by then. Or, like, even if he crashed in the White House, like, what are the chances you're going to necessarily
There's-
hit the president? Like, he's got to
there's a
be in the White
distinct-
House. He's got to be in the part of the White House that you hit. You know, it's just like
There's
really
a
not great
distinct
plan.
lack of sophistication to his plan.
Yeah, it does kind of seem a little bit juvenile. It actually reminds me a bit of the plans of Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold more than it does the 9/11 hijackers, who they also had a plan to hijack a plane and crashed into some kind of building. I don't think it was the White House. But yeah, Eric
Oh, they had
Harris,
elaborate
Eric
plans.
Harris, and
Oh,
Dylan
that's
Klebold
insane.
planned to kill far more than they actually did. Like, they had bombs set up all in the school. None of them
Well,
went off.
the pipe bombs, remember? Yeah,
Yeah.
you remember that. The pipe bombs were supposed to be like the big killer. It was like,
Well, yeah,
they
they
actually wanted to panic everyone.
They were trying
kill
to.
them with bombs.
The school shooting was supposed to just be a pretense to herd people to where they would get blown up by the bombs, and then they were going to rush off and go hijack a plane and crash into a building, and they had this whole big elaborate scheme that was obviously very childish and silly and actually would never work. And about the most they were able to accomplish was shooting a few people.
Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, I don't know if you want me to play my little monologue that
Yeah, go ahead.
this is like a romanticized version of Samuel Bick that
course.
Stephen Sondheim included in his musical Assassins, which is actually, like, it's interesting because this is typically played for laughs, and I play it kind of serious. And it won me a lot of roles, honestly. This was my go-to shit for a while to get me roles around where I lived. Like, everybody had heard this as an audition piece. It was it still is to this day, by the way, a very common audition piece, but it's almost always played super upbeat and for laughs. And I didn't do it that way, so I kind of give it my own spin. It's a little more dour and Paul-like, but whatever. I'll if you want to unshare, Scotty, I'll share mine up. So this is old fucking shit. What year is this from? Let me take fucking full screen off for a second. Look at this. Yeah, December 12th, 2007. So I would have been 27 years old in this, which is pretty fucking crazy to me. I turned everything up as high as I fucking could, so hopefully you guys can hear this. If you can't, maybe this will be edited in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Like, the editor can fucking pull this from my channel because it's still on my channel.
Right.
Have it your way, have it your way, have it your way. You want to know what my way is? Hot. How about a hamburger that's fucking hot for once? They don't blame me, I'm from Massachusetts. Oh, Dick, Dick, you still with me, babe? Hey, look, I'm sorry about that, all right? I'm about 10 minutes outside the airport. I'm starting to crack up here. Stay with me, baby. Stay with me. Talk me down. You know, Dick, here in the waning hours of your administration, it seems appropriate to look back at your long years of public service and to conclude that, as our president, you really bit the big one. Wazoo City, babe, what can I say? And you want to know what the best part is? This shit cracks me up. I voted for you. Yeah, I gave you my vote, my sacred democratic trust. And what did you do with it, Dick? You pissed all over it. That's no big deal, though, right? Guys like you piss all over everything. You piss all over yourselves, you piss all over the country, and you piss all over me. Yeah, I don't want to hear it. Don't say it, Sammy. Don't say it. You're my main man. Guys like you are the backbone of this nation. You shut the fuck up, Dick. Shut up. I'm talking now. You're listening. You read the papers lately, Dick, huh? You read the papers? Grandma lives in packing crates. Raw sewage closes down New Jersey beaches. Saudi prince buys up Howard Johnson. What's going on here, Dick? It wasn't supposed to be this way. Wasn't supposed to, but it is. And schmucks like you keep right on telling us that it isn't. Oh no, everything's fine. It's great. It's Miller time. Miller time? Miller time? The woods are burning, Dick. What can we do? We want to do something. We want to change things for the better. How? All right, we hold an election. Great. So the Democrat can stand up and say he's going to fix everything. The Republicans fucked up. And then the Republican can stand up and say he's going to fix everything. The Democrats fucked up. Who do we believe? Who's lying? Somebody's lying, Dick. I mean, we can talk about it and we can read about it and argue, but deep down inside, we all know that we don't know. How could we? I mean, oil embargoes, megatons, holes in the ozone. Who understands this crap? We need to believe, Dick. We need to trust. Like little kids, you know? We need to believe that somebody out there is looking out for our best interests. Somebody cares about us. Somebody loves us. Do they? No, they lie to us. They lie about what's right, and they lie about what's wrong, and they lie about the fucking hamburgers. And when we realize, I mean really realize deep down that they've been lying, we get scared. Get terrified. Like little children that wake up in the middle of the night and don't know where they are. Mommy! Mommy, I had a bad dream! Daddy, Sammy had a nightmare! And Daddy comes into my room and he says, "It's all right, Sammy. It's all right, son. Daddy loves you. Your mother doesn't, but I do." And then Mommy holds us tight and she says, "It's okay, Bubba. It's all right. Your mommy's here for you. Your daddy's not, but your mommy is." And then where are we? Huh? Who do we believe? What do we do? We do what we have to do. Kill the president.
I like it. Not only did you put a lot of yourself in that, I feel like I had like shades of fucking Al Pacino in there too.
Just like Al Pacino, dude.
Al Pacino.
Al Pacino. Frosty and Frothy. Al Pacino.
Did I say fun?
No, it's not like no masterclass or anything, but I think it's it's a really good piece of psychology.
Well, you got really good into the rhythm, especially during the angrier parts. I think you had like a pretty good fucking rhythm there of like you were hitting the highs in such a way it was like ba-boom, 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 building up, and then it gets quiet, and you're kind of like still like left in like the shadow of the big moment that was like the crescendo there, and then like that like, what do? You gotta kill the president, and like that pretty much like doesn't really logically follow anything he said, but it emotionally does, and you're like, holy shit, this guy is fucking crazy.
Yeah. That little gun that I pull up is actually a real gun that I like. So the long story short on that gun, it was a gun that was left with me by a crazy ex that she got from her crazy uncle who told her that the world was about to end and she was going to need something to defend herself.
See, that gun has a great story behind it too.
Right. And she left it, and then I ended up with it, and I figured out that it wasn't real easy to get rid of a gun if you have one that's like not registered. It's basically a street piece, like
right.
So I was like, what can I do to make this safe? So I gutted it. Like I looked up the gun and I disassembled it and took out all like the firing spring and the this, that, and the other. So it was completely like a prop gun that I actually ended up taking it and giving it to the college at one point. But they told me after looking at it, and I showed them, that I'd made it a prop gun and shit, that when they found out it was an actual gun at some point and that I wasn't the registered owner, they didn't let me do it. So I ended up taking it completely apart and putting pieces of it in a different dumpster all over the city. That's what happened with that gun. But anyway.
And that was after you assassinated the president, right?
That was after, yes, after I attempted to kill President Nixon by hijacking a plane and flying it into the...
Absolutely, yeah. But yeah, I mean,
Well,
that's
man,
a pretty
that
sympathetic
again?
portrayal. I'm assuming that probably his vocabulary was not... I mean, maybe it was.
No, it probably was not.
But I'm assuming it probably was not. What's that, Scotty? Did you guys freeze?
Nothing.
Did you guys freeze?
I thought Scotty said something.
Oh man, you know what I was saying? I was saying. That's when I have to say, wow.
I remember
That's
that.
Ford ducking right there.
Well, I don't
Gerald
remember
Ford.
this, but I've seen this before.
He's ducking to find his cane, right, to go beat the guy that took a shot at him.
He kind of looks like he is.
He kind of does, yeah.
He doesn't look like he's like. There's not that immediate look of like, oh shit.
I don't think I would have mouthed off to Gerald Ford. Like, I don't really like him all that much, but I think he probably would have just popped you one. He looks like one of those guys, like one of those old school dudes that would have just popped you one.
Yeah. It's like, you don't like you. I'm popping you in the face.
I'm going to pop
You
you
guys
one,
heard
you
about
little
this one at
bastard.
all?
What's that, Scott?
I don't know any of the details about it. I know it happened, but I don't know any of the, like, I don't know the dude. I don't know the story behind it.
Not a dude. This girl.
Oh,
This
yeah, that's
Charles
right.
Manson, devotee, if you want to call them. I would say cult member. Lynette Squeaky tried to shoot Ford when he was shaking hands in a crowd in Sacramento.
That's right.
She tried to fire on him when he reached to shake her hand. But yet again, the rookie mistake they all seem to make. The firing chamber was empty. Got to chamber that round.
What the fuck?
Damn.
You're part of
Everybody brings an unloaded gun to these fucking assassination attempts, man.
Dude, you're part of the Manson family. You should definitely know how to fucking fire that damn gun.
Well, she didn't.
Man.
Well, a lot of people make the mistake. That's why the people will say it's one in the pipe, or or the gun is ready. But people don't realize that some people that means they have to chamber a round, and that takes that extra seconds. And obviously, if you're talking about I'm going to shake your hand and there's Secret Service in place, you're only going to have one chance to do it. And if you try to go, okay,
Yeah.
no, I'm going to slide it back or whatever, or wait for the round to be chambered, they're going to grab you. And of course, that's what happened.
Dude, this has nothing to do with anything, but I have an observation to make.
Sure.
Even like basic gun talk sounds like gay porn to me. So you gotta fucking slide the round into the chamber and then really fucking get the nut all fucking tightened up, and then really gotta fucking pack that fucking chamber full, and then you gotta make sure that there's a round ready to fire. Because if that round isn't ready, that pin hits nothing, that round isn't gonna fire. So you really gotta make sure that your chamber is all prepped to fire. And it's just like, to me, it just
Paul, let me tell you something. I'm not some fucking gun.
no, I know you're not. I wasn't insinuating.
My knowledge is very limited. I'm not going to try to claim, because every time we talk about guns, people are like, well, you don't know. It's like no one here is claiming to be knowing shit about guns.
No. I'm not. I wasn't insinuating that it had anything.
But I will
to do
say
with
this.
you.
Well, no. Here's why I'm saying it. You haven't heard me out.
Okay.
That shit to me, a lot of fucking dudes like, it's like your second cock. Like, there's definitely a thing, and I'm not saying everyone has a gun is like that, but there's definitely a segment of where like it's like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking shoot these rounds. Yeah.
You got to make sure you grease up your chamber before you put your fucking
Look at that
firing.
grouping. Oh
bolts
my
in there.
god, them shots so tight.
Oh yeah, tight shots. Yeah, man, I like a tight grouping personally. Yeah. Oh, fucking
sometimes,
greased my chamber. Yeah, that's right. Oh, fucking
like that
load up my
grouping
pistol.
all
That's
over
right.
the
You got.
place.
Oh man, yeah.
Apparently
Ram that
shooting
cleaning rod down the barrel. That's right. That's right. Oh fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Yeah. Grease the chamber. Oh man, load the bullet. Oh yeah, that's right. Cock back the hammer. Oh fuck, my trigger's ready to
Dude,
go
why
off.
did
Oh
you
fuck
think-
yeah. Oh,
I think there's all those videos of like hot chicks like from the like 80s and 90s, like during the Cold War era and shit, like shooting fucking submachine guns or machine guns, like brrr, it's like damn.
yeah, there's a great one at the beginning of Bowling for Columbine. That chick with the giant tits and like the big fucking American string bikini with the fucking two AKs firing them simultaneously. Like while an eagle flies behind her and shit. It's
Yeah,
like,
this is
it's the most,
freedom.
he found the perfect, it's the most American image I still think to this day I've ever seen in my life. So he picked it perfectly. But yeah, no, it's always been that way with me. I've always felt like that, like gun talk is the gayest thing I've ever heard. Like all of this stuff, it's almost like from the get-go, the people that design these things were trying to make like, and maybe I'm wrong, but it just like, maybe that's just my latent homosexuality trying to find a roost somewhere else. But it almost
I
feels
don't
like
know,
the people
man.
that
Like, think about the ancient sports, dude. Like the original Olympics were held naked for many years.
well, they were
in a lot of
gay as
countries.
fuck though back then. You can't really hold that.
No,
like,
no. But I'm saying, but like that. But dude, that's such a But think about that, Paul. It's like we're talking about one of the foundational cultures of Western civilization. Like a lot of that shit, like homoerotic shit, is like continued on to like very recently. Like kids like in public schools and like places like private schools would swim naked, like kids.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I mean,
My mom told me about that. Like my mom said when she was like in her like younger grades that they didn't have bathing suits. They would just strip the kids naked and throw them in the pool.
Yeah. That's how shit used to be done, dude. Like, so yeah, I mean, I definitely see I can see it to some degree. I don't think you're totally off base. But then again, I am kind of crazy.
What? Wait a minute. What am I? What I'm kind of high. What proclamation did I make that you agreed with? I wanted to feel good about it, but I can't even remember what I said.
Just like
You said you were giving all your money to us.
latent
It's crazy.
homoerotic like subtext of
Oh yeah. That's right. That's right.
Like,
Guns are
football,
gay.
like look at that tight end running with that ball. Ooh,
Oh yeah, football is hella gay
him.
too.
Oh, he's so
Football.
sweaty. Oh,
Dude,
look at his-
football.
Can we just admit that everything in our culture, from like the foundation to the very tippy top, is
No,
just all
it
gay?
really is. It's really interesting. It's something that's like it's like a shared group psychology thing that I find really interesting. And latent homosexuality is so fucking powerful in our culture and in the things that we like revere. Like football is so gay. Wrestling is like doubling down on the gayness of football. And these are seen as like manly pursuits. It's almost like there's a latent desire for men to fuck each other that's being repressed or something. I don't know what that might be.
I you know what? I've never heard that, but I heard that there's these really strange people that say that, and they live in San Francisco. And I personally, living here in Louisiana, just don't trust anything that happens in the state of California. Absolutely nothing.
Fair enough.
So yet again, I guess Ford is not popular with the ladies. Suffice it to say, because this is Sarah Moore. And actually, I could tell you what happened, but we actually have a clip from her, but I'll tell you the little backstory. Just 17 days after Lynette Squeaky Fromm, the Charles Manson devotee, tries to kill Ford, Sarah Moore is there waiting in the wings, I guess. So 17 days later, on September 22nd, Sarah Jane Moore fired at Ford in San Francisco. This is the year 1975, by the way. The guy standing next to Moore saw what was happening and jerked her arm away, making the shot miss the president.
Damn.
And hit the guy standing next to him, showering him in a steaming hot load. I'm sorry, what?
No.
Who can remember?
So here's Sarah Moore from this is like 5 years ago. Let's CNN interviewing her. The woman who attempted to assassinate President Ford speaks out.
Damn. Dude, female privilege. How is she walking the streets and looking all healthy and old and wearing all kinds of jewelry and shit?
Yeah, what the
funny thing
fuck?
about this is like, I looked at this shit and the way this woman talks, I'm like, Taylor, this could be like your fucking grandma, your nan.
Yeah, like, how is she on the streets, though?
Dude, grandma here fucking tried to kill the president, dude.
Don't you go away for life for that
She didn't
shit?
succeed, though. No, she got paroled.
She gets to have a nice old lady life after trying to kill the fucking president?
Well, see, she got out in 2015. She did this in she did 40 years.
Right, but still, she's like rich as fuck.
Years, man. I mean, I don't know. I think she didn't kill him. Let her out. It's 40 fucking years.
I mean, if you're gonna lock anybody up forever, shouldn't it be a person that tries to kill the fucking president?
But she failed.
Yeah, it was just
I mean, like, Paul, you have to take into account if someone does fail. Or you have to be Saddam Hussein or someone like that, where it's like you're just gonna make up the plot, or even if there is a plot, it's just gonna be the most. Just put a bullet in their head.
I'd have turned her loose right away. I'd have just been like, you know what? No harm, no foul.
Well, let's hear from her.
You're free to go. You're free to go.
From a failed assassin here.
Yeah, I want to hear. I hope that she's gonna say like, yeah, I regret that I didn't pull it off. I wish I had killed that son of a bitch.
That would be awesome, but I don't think that's what she's gonna say.
You got any more predictions you want to put on before we can see the actual clip?
No, that's fine. Go ahead. I'm just telling you what I want. It wasn't necessarily a prediction. It was just what I want her to say.
Oh, it's that's the version of reality you're hoping unfolds. I see.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You're just fantasizing in the open. It's fine.
I know.
And joins us this morning. What drove you to want to try to assassinate President Ford?
Well, everybody asks that, and the thing is that everybody was talking about it. They say, where did you get the idea? I don't know about the rest of the country, but in San Francisco, people were saying this all the time. Number one, we elect our presidents, we don't appoint them. And Gerald Ford was appointed, and he was appointed by a crook, if you will pardon the expression. So it wasn't a unique feeling. It was partly that there were other people who had talked about it, who I thought were much more important to what we were thinking of as the revolution, and we really truly thought there was going to be one. And I thought somebody like me, I was a nobody, it would be better coming from somebody like me and not destroying these people who I felt were leaders, and if they did this, it would destroy their leadership.
So you missed, obviously, and how long after you fired that bullet did the sort of realization, the enormity of what you tried to do dawn on you?
Oh, I think the enormity of it had dawned on me before, as I said in a letter that I wrote to
no shit.
later.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that too many people are like,
what a dumb question.
I think I might go miniature golf. Nah,
Shoot the president.
Yeah, we can shoot. Let's do that. Let's shoot the president.
I mean, look, I'm bored.
Casual decision. Yeah, why the fuck not?
You'll have to forgive the fembot here that's running this. She doesn't understand that a person that's decided to kill the president has probably had the enormity of that dawn on them for very long before doing it.
That's probably why so many of them fuck up.
Yeah.
It's too big a job for
like M. Bison. It was Tuesday. Like if you have that attitude, that's probably how you can pull off shit like that.
By the way, TJ didn't get exactly what he wanted, but he kind of got what he wanted.
Yeah, she ain't far off. I mean, she ain't really. I mean, maybe later she's gonna be like, I shouldn't have, but You know, I mean, like, she ain't exactly like.
She ain't apologized.
Yeah,
40 fucking years. I mean, she can feel how the fuck she wants about it.
I agree, but I'm just saying,
you know,
I don't see a whole lot of like backing down out of her on this shit. She's like, yeah, it was a piece of shit, and
she basically kind of gave her life for it. Really, I mean,
yeah,
that's
he
made.
He was appointed. He wasn't elected. That's bullshit. And everyone around me was saying, you know, it's bullshit. And we thought there was gonna be a revolution. And I figured I'm gonna take this motherfucker out, clear the way for the revolution.
I think life was more important then than it is now. It was sort of an awesome decision to make a decision to take somebody's life. I don't think people feel like that now, but at the time it was. So the decision ahead of time, the thing that surprised me, and this probably sounds very silly, is I was concerned about the publicity, but only in the Bay Area. It never occurred to me that this was a story that was going to go all over the world.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
You served more than 30 years in prison. You got out in 2000.
More than 32 years.
More than 32 years. You got out of prison in 2007. You then.
Okay, she did.
Hey, you lied to us, Scotty. What the fuck?
Are you still on parole?
I thought that she fucking had done
I
more
am.
time.
The rules say that after 5 years of clear conduct, you're like your mandatory release. You're supposed to be released from parole, and I am now 7 years of clear conduct and have yet to be released from parole.
And why is that? I mean, I believe that you have gone on.
Because she tried to assassinate the president. What do you mean, why is that? This is the dumbest interview ever.
This stupid question after stupid question after waste of this woman's time.
Citizen. Let's not talk about turning over a new leaf. Nothing. The first time that they turned me down, I was shocked because one would have thought the incident had happened the day before. The way they talked about me, and I was in total shock. And they repeated much the same this time. They're supposed to release you unless they feel that you're going to commit another offense. And I don't know what offense I would commit. Jaywalking, perhaps?
Well, I mean, there you have it. I mean, obviously you turned over a new leaf.
Trying to shoot the current president, maybe?
You have it.
The United States back then.
Who knows?
Yes, but it makes it sound like I was a totally different person, and I was pretty much the person I am now. Had gotten into something over my head, I will admit that. Had quit listening to reason. So for a little while, I was a different person, but in terms of being your ordinary, normal citizen who gets up and goes to work and you know, I think the most, I think the only criminal I'd had before I'd gotten a ticket for jaywalking.
She gets kind of a senile moment there, like, all right.
I think she was just looking for the words she wanted to say.
Dude, whatever. I take it back. I'm glad that grandma that tried to kill fucking Ford is back on the streets.
Yeah.
I take it back. I had to meet her. You know what I mean? It's a lot easier to judge her from afar, but you know what, dude? She's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I knew Paul would come around. It's like, Paul, you don't have that much love for fucking the world in this.
I kind of wish she was my granny. I kind of wish my granny was the one that tried to kill President Ford, and then
Paul,
I know exactly how she got released too. I know how she got released. It was just like they were like, "Oh, should we release her? She tried to assassinate the president. Oh my God, which one? Ford? Oh, let her go.
Oh, was he a president? I thought he was like a vice president or something. No, president. Okay, shit. Yeah, I guess.
I mean,
whatever.
yeah, but like he was like not elected though. Yeah, that's true, man. That should count. Oh, no, it doesn't count. He was president. Well, yeah, he was president, but he wasn't like not the elected
he's not like
by
a real
people.
president. He's like a president and a half.
Yeah, it's
Half
like
a president.
you
know what?
It's like 3/5
go,
of a
man.
president. You know.
Let her go. We'll just leave her on probation for the last 80 years of her life or whatever.
Yeah, because you never know what she might be plotting a fucking second attempt.
I mean,
you know,
who fucking knows, guys?
who knows
I
what she'll get up to.
I mean, the grandma she tried to kill the president, man. I ain't fucking with grandma. She ain't gonna play, dude. She tells you to fucking like pick up your room. You better fucking do that shit. How about Jimmy Carter, man?
Simple peach farmer.
Peanut farmer.
Peach.
Peanut.
Peach.
Peanut.
This is cause for war.
How dare you, sir?
Oh God, poor Jimmy.
Dude. Fucking Jimmy Carter just couldn't catch a break. Couldn't catch a fucking break. Peace in the Middle East, not gonna have with Carter.
Denied.
Yeah. How about the price of oil? Oil embargo. Fucking people pushing their fucking clunker fucking goddamn cars or their fucking muscle cars into goddamn gas station gas lines, huge shortages.
Yeah, waiting in
Inflation, how is
lines
that doing?
waiting in lines that went a mile to try and fill up your car, only to find out that the fucking gas station was out for the day.
Yep. Massive inflation. Just a very challenging series of economic events for the United States and geopolitical fucking setbacks.
And unfortunately, we picked a lemon farmer to do it for us. You know what I mean?
A lemon farmer.
Peach farmer, Paul. Peach farmer.
Oh yeah, peach. I'm sorry. I'm
peach
sorry. You're
farmer,
right.
fool.
It's a peach farmer.
Fucking idiot.
Man, I never knew what a lemon even looked like.
Oh my
so
god.
Carter was in LA.
By the way, I'm just joshing. I know he was an apple farmer.
It's
I'm
okay.
not.
Come on.
I'm not stupid. Like I just wanted to make sure that like anybody out there that wasn't getting the joke know that we all know he.
Here, guys, right
mean,
now,
yeah.
that Paul just said that Jimmy Carter was definitely a lemon farmer.
You know, I don't blame
A
you for.
lemon farmer
Look, I don't,
never
listen,
was
hold on,
one,
hold
man.
on. I don't blame you for thinking he was a fucking apple farmer because that is what's widely been reported. I'm not saying you're ignorant because you're saying that, but I'm going to tell you that in actual fact, apples were only about 20% of the crops Jimmy farmed. Actually, primarily he was a clementine farmer. So, but
No.
you know,
TJ,
You're
you
on
just
drugs,
fucked
dude.
up the whole joke. Like, and now you're trying to deepen it with this clementine thing. Look, everybody knows he was a lemon farmer. Joke over.
fair enough.
Damn,
Fair
TJ,
enough.
what the fuck, dude?
Sorry.
No, he just he can't just like
Dun,
let the
dun, dun,
joke die. He's got to try and like deepen the joke by
Yeah,
adding this
yeah,
new
yeah.
layer. Oh, he was a clementine farmer. It's like, okay, he's a lemon farmer. Let's move on. God,
Right.
quit
Paul
holding it
drop
up.
it back in the pocket.
Lemons and
Pressure
limes, yeah.
on the left side.
Okay,
There's
fine.
TJ. And what does
Fine,
TJ do?
hey.
Oh, TJ's tying his
The
shoe.
li-
There's
the
TJ
limes-
tying his shoe. He's not doing anything he's supposed to. Now TJ's on his phone. The ball's in the air. Oh, no, it's dropped. by
He's a
TJ.
fucking lime farmer.
fucking-
Fine, I got
The
it.
limes were an allegation cooked up by the Reagan campaign, and you know it, TJ, to tie him to a Colombian cartel that he never knew anybody in. He never grew a
I
lime.
looked into that lime shit, and honestly, there's a lot of truth to that.
He was a lemon farmer, TJ.
All right, you
Well,
know,
lemon-
if you want
lemon
to just
lime.
believe everything you're told, I guess he was a lemon
And you know
farmer.
what? And you want to know something else, TJ? And I'm sorry I have to do this, but it's not in a negative way. But your mama drank lemons that this man farmed in her fucking sweet lemonade when she was just a baby growing up. So you better suck this man's sour lemony dick, TJ, for them lemons that he grew. You're trying to fucking in here besmirch him and say he was a clementine farmer. Are you absurd?
Limes, Paul, limes.
Ask your mom. He never grew a lime. That is an allegation by the Reagan campaign that has been disproven by 100 political scholars, TJ. 100 at least that I can name right now.
Well, maybe
Stuart
Scotty.
Herbert,
Maybe Scotty can shine
James
some light on this.
Fullerton. No, do I need to go, TJ? Do I need to keep going? Kirk James Patrick,
Mm-hmm.
Philip Filibuster,
Right.
Joe Wallace, the fucking eminent Joe Wallace, need I say more?
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Nadine Nabatawaku.
Look, you know,
from fucking
this is not the
Africa
time-
wrote extensively on this.
Exactly, fucking,
This is not the time or the place for this
Looney
argument. All right.
Tunes
Come on.
fucking It's filibuster here. Oh, filibuster boo.
I'm just showing TJ that I have a command of this man's fucking life. I know a little bit about Jimmy Carter.
I didn't
the lemon
realize.
farmer that he was.
All right.
I'm just
We'll just
saying, you
settle
know,
on-
I heard some rumors. I don't
He
know.
was a fucking,
I just want to
he was
hear
a
that
farmer.
Paul knows everything about Jimmy Carter, and we
Look,
can move on.
All right.
do
all
this.
right.
He was a farmer. We're not going to specify what the fuck he grew or didn't grow or fucking who knows. He was a farmer.
Lemons.
Farmer.
Yeah.
He was a goddamn farmer. And he was on his fucking way to LA to give a speech. Give a fucking speech, guys. You guys might know what that is.
Speeches.
When a man was arrested with a gun, TJ, with a gun. I've got a gun. What do I want to do with that gun? His story was that he was only there to distract the Secret Service. Ooh, look at me. I've got a gun. I'm an assassin. Not really, though.
Good story.
Yeah.
I was trying to...
Cover story.
I was only fooling, you know.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I always wanted to do is take a gun to one of them Secret Service things, waving around at them.
You guys will like
Wouldn't
this,
it be funny?
So the story was
Is that a
and
gallon of chocolate milk that you're sucking down?
No,
16
it's
there?
It's Milo's.
Sugar-free sweet tea.
Yeah, sugar-free
Ugh.
sweet tea. It sucks.
Yeah. I like
Yeah,
the
it's
non-sugar-free. Milo's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's my favorite brand. It fucking.
But the zero one is not the greatest, but whatever.
And I'll tell you what, TJ.
Saving them calories, TJ.
If that zero was sweetened with the lemons from the great lemon farmer, we're taking a look at it.
I always like a little twist of lime in my sweet tea. I don't know about you guys.
Oh, you conspiracy nut, you piece of shit that buys the fucking hogwash pushed at you by right-wing trolls. You know that Reagan was the one that was in bed with the lime industry, and he tried to put that off on Jimmy Carter just because lemons and limes are often associated because they have a similar citrusy flavor palette, TJ.
Is it a lemon or is it a lime?
And Sprite is like a pissing in this man's face. Sprite is like pissing in this man's face that comes along after they depose him from office. Unfairly, by the way. But they make a drink where a lemon and a lime are intertwined, like pissing in Mr. Carter's face. And you know what he does? He builds HUD houses as an old man. What a humble and beautiful man this lemon farmer is.
So who tried to assassinate him, Scotty? What was the guy's name?
So his story.
Everybody knows it was Gerald Von Tiddlywinks, TJ.
The tangent of
The lime empire president
of Georgia, Jimmy Carter.
Mhm.
His story was that, of course, he was there only to distract the Secret Service because there was other hitmen with sniper rifles who were waiting in the wings to assassinate Carter.
Exactly. Run by Manuel Destanza, the head of the Colombian lime cartel. TJ, it's like written in black ink. The arrows are all pointing in the right direction.
Are they? All right. You know what, Paul? You know everything there is to know about this. I concede. All right. You know everything.
The man.
You are the Jimmy
man-
Carter expert, resident Jimmy Carter expert on the
He doesn't
show.
like this. The guys,
Yeah.
whatever. We're not talking about the history. We're talking about the assassination.
Uh-huh.
So if we have any more questions about his past, we'll ask Paul.
I'd have
Raymond Lee
no
Harvey.
questions about his
Escaped conviction because there was a lack of evidence.
Hey,
Wait, he was there with a gun.
Hey.
How is there a lack of evidence?
Lack of evidence, man. It was
Then
Jimmy
look.
Carter. They're kind of like, look, you tried to kill a president, but it was Carter. So, we stopped you. You get a slap on the wrist, and don't ever try to kill him again.
Carter was pretty fucking hated, especially by the time his term was winding down. I mean, that's why he lost so bad to Reagan.
it's clear that Manuel de Souza called in a favor and got his hitman released back into the world. I'm sure he went on to kill many other innocent people.
I think this is someone that's near and dear to all of our hearts. Moving on from presidents. Oh, you know who this is?
I know who this is. Yeah. I am, how do you say, familiar with this individual.
I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are. So there was actually a documentary made a few years ago about this. It's basically titled "The 638 Assassination Attempts of Fidel Castro." So I'm talking about failed assassins.
It's
This guy is like the
it's
king
Fidel
of failed
Castro.
Failed assassins going after this guy.
It's Fidel Castro. Scotty,
what's that?
you
Fidel?
pronounced wrong.
Oh,
Fidel,
I'm so sorry.
Fidel Castro.
Fidel.
Fidel Castro.
Fidel?
Fidel Castro.
Fidel Castro. You saying Gastro?
Fidel Castro.
He's saying Gastro. He is.
It sounds like you're saying are you saying Castro or Gastro?
He's saying Gastro,
Fidel.
dude.
Fidel.
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 Emmanuel.
Emmanuel.
Jose.
Jose.
Escalante.
Escalante.
Emiliano
Emiliano.
Castro.
Castro.
De Jesus.
De Jesus.
Clemenzo.
Clemenza.
Santa Maria.
Santa Maria. Nina.
Santa Paulo.
Santa Paulo. Is that it?
Gustavo.
Gustavo. I can't offend Fidel, man. I'm not crazy. I mean, look, we try to kill a guy that many times and he lives. I mean, fuck, dude. I can make the threat like, you know
How many
what,
was it?
Fidel, I'm gonna
638?
kill you.
You say
That's a
638?
good line. Yeah,
638. What?
638, dude.
638. What? Who?
Fidel, 638. So there's a documentary that was made called 638 Ways to Kill Castro that tells the story of some of the many assassination attempts by the CIA to kill Fidel, the leader of Cuba. The agency's attempts range from catastrophic to just laughable. I mean, shit that's just like, come on. Like, some of the plots are just like, well, I'm sure you guys probably heard of some of them, but they're just completely fucking absurd. It's just shit that, like, if it was to work, you'd be like a 1 in a million.
For anybody who's not familiar with these things, next time you watch a movie where the CIA is like super competent and awesome at their jobs, just remember this.
It's the opposite. It's if you actually want to see how this like a movie that approximates how the CIA is run, go look up the Keystone Cops. It's an oldie but a goodie, and that'll give you an idea about how the CIA is doing its job.
Perfect, yeah.
Sky, tell them some of these fucking attempts they actually legitimately tried on this motherfucker.
Okay, of course, man. I've got plenty of
Do you
them.
got the conch shell? You got the conch shell one?
Yeah, yes, I
Yeah.
believe I do. Many of them were detailed by the Church Committee, a special Senate subcommittee headed by Democratic Senator Frank Church in 1975.
A stupid man.
So,
Not a smart
look at
man.
this first one here. Do you guys know which one this is?
I will confirm if these are true or untrue.
Oh, well, of course. TJ, yeah, obviously, I mean,
Is this the one where they try to poison a cigar?
Close, but no cigar, TJ.
No cigar. You beat me to it. You're a smart man, Scotty. People who don't know. I'm usually the first to the close, but no cigar. Oh.
I'm dead, dude. I'm worm food. So the most famous attempt to kill Fidel was in 1960 when the CIA. Oh shit, TJ! You know what? I have to have a mea culpa to you because this is called exploding cigar, but poisoned is actually right. So you know what? I have to say you were right.
Sweet.
A poison box of his favorite cigars.
Yeah.
Just a year after Castro claimed power, the agency spiked the cigars with botulinum toxin, strong enough to kill anybody who put their mouth on one.
Right.
The cigars were delivered to a, quote, unidentified person in 1961, according to the subcommittee, but it's unclear what happened to them after that. Needless to say...
I can fill in the gaps if you...
Oh, okay, yes. Fidel.
I mean, I don't mean to interrupt. I am listening, you know.
Go ahead. Tell us. Let us know.
Well, the box of cigars, they ended up upon my desk, wrapped as they were in parchment paper back then. As soon as I unwrapped the parchment paper and before I lifted the lid on the box of cigars, I knew that they were poisoned, for I have smoked many, many cigars, more than even the most accomplished cigar smoker that you will ever meet. As a point of fact, I am smoking a cigar right now in an undisclosed location. And I never am without a cigar. When I inhale at night, I inhale from a giant cigar that is rolled from me each night. When I exhale the smoke from that cigar. It is the key to what keeps me alive. And so, you know, I know cigars better than any man knows cigars. So I knew immediately that this was another ham-feasted attempt at my life. And I threw the cigars in the ocean to poison the fishes. And I laughed heartily amongst my men.
Awesome.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Makes fucking sense to me.
Then what did they do?
This is a fake picture. This is one of my body doubles. You can always tell because there is no cigar.
Of course.
Of course, right.
Naturally.
Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Of course. How about this, guys? How about the mob takes out Fidel? So it's believed the CIA used a series of middlemen to enlist two gangsters to help with Castro's removal. The agency was willing to pay $150,000, at least $1.2 million in today's money. I think at the time of this 2018, according to the church committee's report. These mobsters were Sam Giannia, I think I'm butchering that, but whatever, and Santo Trifacante, the head of the mob's Cuban operations. Both of them were members of the FBI's 10 most wanted list. So, Giancana, suggesting that poison pills were more reliable than guns. So the CIA said, sure. They gave him 6 pills of a high lethal content to a cash-strapped Cuban official who had access to Castro. However, after several unsuccessful attempts, the guy got cold feet, and the plan was eventually abandoned. He's just like, I can't do it. He tried, never went off without a hitch. Couldn't, I guess, get it close enough or whatever.
Okay, I think I see what's really going on here. Is Fidel is merely he can't be killed by poison. He's clearly immune to all poison.
This is, I feel safe revealing this on your show. This is a myth about me. I am susceptible to poison as any man. I am just not stupid enough to be killed by it. I have many body doubles, friend. You may be talking to one of them now. You'll never know.
We certainly don't know. We certainly do not know.
You'll never know. Scotty, you never know.
Yeah.
I agree. I definitely agree. I don't know right now who the fuck.
I don't even know. I don't know. Do you know? I don't know. No one knows. No one even approaches
another
knowing.
doctored photo or no, never mind. This is Manuel, my body double. I sent him out to catch the fish for me, PR stunt, but no cigar, dead giveaway.
Of course. How about this one, TJ? I think you mentioned this one, the painted seashell.
Yeah. This is the dumbest. This fucking plot is the stupidest assassination plot I've ever heard of from anybody. Like, it had absolutely no chance of succeeding.
Well, since you seem to like it, TJ, you want to tell people what happened?
Well, I don't.
Some note here.
I mean, I don't necessarily remember every fucking detail, but basically the idea was this. So Fidel liked to go diving and shit. So the CIA's plan was, we'll put an especially beautiful seashell right where, we think he's going to dive. And he'll notice it and be like, oh, what a beautiful seashell. And he'll go swim to it. And he'll pick it up. And then it'll explode and kill him. I mean, it's literally the most dumbest.
That's essentially the story.
It's the dumbest, most convoluted, cartoonish, nonsensical waste of taxpayer money fucking plot to assassinate a fucking world leader that you could ever goddamn imagine.
Dude,
and the CIA
plan had
cooked it up.
gone forward though, and that's what would have got Fidel.
It never would have worked. There's
but
a
what
reason.
If it had, dude. I want to think of the world if that had worked, dude. That's like the one they discarded TJ. But he sees the beautiful shell. It's like, that shell is like 1 in a fucking million or whatever. 1 in 10 million, 1 in 100 million. He goes down to pick it up.
I guess. I don't know. Maybe it could have happened, but
you never know, man. You know what, TJ? My plan is as fucking successful, at least as theirs were.
Fidel, are you too finished?
Oh shit! Sorry, Fidel, man. Sorry, dude.
What's up, Fidel?
The true story behind what happened that day is one known only to a few. But I will tell it here today to the world. That conch, sir, killed the love of my life. Esperanza Santo Domingo Dominguez Gonzalez Juarez Rosa Desposito Conchita Maria Alonso Francesca de Gordo. She was fond, you see, of conch shells. And when we went on our diving expeditions, she would often pull them from the seafloor and bring them to me as gifts. That day, the conch shell she harvested did more than bring me delight. It took her from me. It was one of the closest attempts that they ever made, and is not stupid. The act of my wife, Maria Alonso de Santo Dominguez Juarez Galamindo,
Yeah.
Francesca de I'm still saying her name, sir. Francesca de Santa Dominguez de la Cruz Alonso. But yes, it was another stupid attempt. At the end of the day, they got my girlfriend. What can I say? She was stupid, and she probably they did me a favor. They cannot help but do me a favor.
Damn.
Of course. Damn, brutal. Hardcore.
Bullshit, man.
Sorry.
Ice cold. Ice
I
cold.
put on a little show for you. Sorry. I never gave a fuck about the beach.
Okay.
Obviously, clearly you're a body double here.
This is no body double. Actually, at the top of the snorkel, there is a cigar. So this is me. I just to let you know. Right off camera on the top of the snorkel, there is a burning cigar.
Well, of course.
How do you keep it lit underwater?
It's in a glass tube, my friend.
Oh, okay.
Knock, knock, McFly. Was that what they say? Hello, McFly. How would you keep a cigar lit underwater? I don't know. I mean, I put it in something that is waterproof. What do you think?
Wow. It's amazing that it has enough oxygen to continue burning, but
The oxygen comes from within my lungs.
yeah, of course.
So the CIA, man, they're dogged. They're not going to give up.
Yeah.
So what do you think they try to do next, TJ? You're the CIA.
I don't know. They tried to train a fucking dragonfly to land on him and, inject a poison dart into his neck. I don't know. What did they do next?
They wanted to contaminate one of Castro's diving suits with a fungus that would produce a chronic and debilitating disease.
Okay. And did they do it? Obviously not.
So the diving suit, as well as the infected breathing apparatus, was meant to be given to Castro by American lawyer James Donovan, who had been involved in hostage negotiations with the Cuban leader. The plan was abandoned after Donovan gave Castro a different suit.
Even Donovan knew that this was bullshit, and he was just like, "I'm not gonna die for this." So here you go, Castro. Here's a suit.
Probably to avoid embarrassment, Richard Helms, who had become CIA director, later called the plan cockeyed and said the suit never left the laboratory.
Tell him how he died. Or is that not going to be covered in the episode?
Who died? Who died?
The man that gave me the suit.
He never did.
He's still alive.
People in
I don't know.
America are
Actually, I
so
have
simple.
no idea if he's alive or not.
He is
How
not.
about this one, Fidel? I think you might like these pictures.
Yes. I remember that. Sorry, I had to go through my Rolodex of attempts at assassination. So many.
Of course.
But yes, I remember this one. But go ahead, Scotty, please. You have such a delicate prose. I would never interrupt.
I mean, another picture that definitely flattered Fidel. I mean, of course, popular with the ladies.
But of course, always. They are drawn to me like they say flies to the stink of shit. They flock around me and buzz around me all times, seeing to my every need, attending to my every want and desire. It is a burdensome life, to tell you the truth, but that is not what the episode is about.
Yeah. Poor Padel, dude.
Poor Fidel, exactly.
I know.
The pain that the people, he has felt it for so long. For so long, not only the pain of his own life, but the pain of the people. Every wound that the people take, Fidel takes 10 fold the wound.
It's so true.
Never do I hear anyone of character bring up poor Fidel, poor Fidel, poor Fidel. Only me.
I'm not a very emotional
That's
person, but I gotta be honest. I got a little misty-eyed just hearing that. You know.
I am sorry, friend. I am accustomed to making grandiose speeches.
No one does it better.
You are not the first, and you will not be the last to cry at the brilliance of my oratory.
But sometimes, as we'll find out now, living the love of a leader, sometimes that can be a weakness in itself.
Oh shit.
Now a lot of these plots, they're ridiculous. It's kind of like, hey, I mean, they are like it's like let's train a cat to fucking go in the building and bite a mouse, and that mouse will run up, and then it'll bite him, and then he'll die of fucking the bubonic plague. I mean,
I remember that one.
They're that level. They're like, hey, Stoner, come up with an example on a show on the fly. Bad. So there you go. But hey, what is love, Fidel?
Baby, don't hurt me. No more.
And you know what? She couldn't. Morita Lorenz was,
Or as I like
Castro's
to call her,
please.
stupid, backstabbing, cunt whore bitch, slut of a fucking son of a cunt. I'm sorry, what?
I know it probably brings back. But Fidel, I think you handled
You
it.
wound me, Scotty. You have wounded Fidel by bringing this
I've
incident
wounded
to-
you. How have I wounded you? Because I think this story shows what kind of man you are. I think this story is a great example of the balls of Fidel.
You have calmed my rage. Continue.
So, Lorenz told Vanity Fair in 1993 that while she was Castro's lover in late 1959, she was recruited as a contracts agent for the CIA and tasked with assassinating the Cuban leader.
They were desperate to fucking assassinate Castro. They're just like anything.
Oh yeah,
Anything
wanted
we got
Castro.
to fucking do. Just gotta be some way we can kill this son of a bitch.
You know why, correct?
Jealousy.
You know the reason, TJ. They want Fidel dead to this day. They
Why?
pretend now that Fidel is dead to this day.
Why is that?
Because Fidel is the one man that has always lived for the people.
Wow.
La gente. He's always led with his heart. That is why he's number one most attempted assassinated man ever in country, ever in world.
I mean, by the logic of George Carlin that we opened this with, that must be true.
Yeah.
I mean, to be frank, George Carlin was full of shit. We've learned about a bunch of scumbags tonight that people have tried to kill, so maybe George Carlin didn't know what he was talking about,
Yeah, but those are all attempted assassinations. Seems like the people who actually get assassinated,
They're the good ones. Except for me.
except for you. Because, when you think about it, the assassination attempts on Fidel were quite different because, they were all masterminded by the CIA. So it wasn't like an aggrieved person. It was like another government jealous of how cool Castro was, or Castro rather. Sorry. So Scotty, what happened in this story? What did this bitch do?
So she was given 2 botulism toxin pills to drop into Castro's drink. So her story goes. That's what she says. Who knows? Just one would kill him in 30 seconds, but she got cold feet. Now this is a quote from her. I knew the minute I saw the outline of Havana, I couldn't do it, she told Vanity Fair, describing her emotions on landing in the Cuban capital. Even if she would wanted to kill him, she had botched the job. She had stashed the pills in a cold cream jar that basically made them gunky and completely unusable. But in any case, Fidel, he had her number. So when this happened, this is from her account of it, he leaned over, pulled out his .45, and handed it to me, she recounted. He didn't even flinch. And he said, "You can't kill me. Nobody can kill me. And he kind of smiled, chewed on a cigar. I felt deflated. He was so sure of me. He just grabbed me, and we made love.
That is right.
Dude, man.
That is the truth. I will admit it. That's
You do.
Dude, Castro, Gastro, whatever you want to say, was or is, I guess, since he's here with us right now. Pretty fucking awesome. That story is completely and utterly badass.
Do you
That's
have
like-
any more, Scotty? Do you have any more stories? Because there are many more.
That's like James Bond. level.
Yes,
Cool.
there is more. There is definitely more. We're nearing the end, but there is more.
More.
I want to see if you cover my favorite one.
Who knows? There's so many to choose from. You never know if you're gonna pick the right one.
That's true.
So another CIA plot that was even more absurd and ridiculous was to kill Castro using a hypodermic needle concealed within a pen.
That's stupid.
The needle would be so fine that, quote, the victim would not notice its insertion. So this little tiny needle is basically going to be slipped in somewhere. He's going to be like tapped, passing someone in a hall or something, or at a meeting. Yep, then he's dead. The reports that the needle was to be rigged with poison and injected into Castro by a highly placed Cuban official who was in discussions with the CIA. However, the Cuban official, quote, did not think much of the device and complained that surely the CIA could, quote, come up with something more sophisticated than that, the committee's report said. It also, the official said, suffered bad timing. He offered the pen on November 22nd, 1963, the date of John F. Kennedy's assassination. The event saw the agency withdraw its support on the attempt to Castro's life, and the official never took the pen to Cuba.
That last part is actually untrue. He was very loyal to me. He was, how you say, a double agent or what, whatever you call. He brought the pen to me just to show me the absurdity. It looked like something you would stick in a horse to give it its inoculation shot, you know? The most giant needle I've ever seen hanging out the side of a pen. It was one of the silliest attempts on my life, for sure. But you did not cover the most absurd.
Well, go ahead.
Well, do you have any more?
Well, I do have another section on Pidel. It's not necessarily about him trying to be killed, but some other things the CIA tried to do with him.
The most absurd one. The CIA hired someone to take a poopy in my soupy.
What? How would that kill you, though?
They thought
Is it
that
like
it would
poison
poison me. They thought the poopy would give me some disease. So they paid. Listen to this. You won't believe it. They paid one of my serving boys $50. $50 to take a poopy in my soupy. He, of course, brought the plot to me immediately. And I gave him $100 for being a loyal serving boy. But know that the CIA once thought that they could drop deuce in my soup and kill me. Stupidos.
Damn.
As if I would not have smelled the poopy immediately. I only eat the finest of soups.
I mean,
Well,
after you fucking smelled poison on a little speck of poison on a cigar, they gotta fucking know for sure you're gonna smell poopy in the soupy. I mean,
Now,
come
this
on.
is something you guys actually. This is something you guys probably wish happened at the studio.
Let me ask you this: the soupy, the poopy and the soupy, was it goopy?
Well, he never took the poopy and the soupy, but I imagine that had he taken the poopy and the soupy, it would have been
I mean, you have to
goopy.
admit, if someone shits in a soup, would you really know?
The soup tonight, to be honest with you, TJ, it would have been very gloopy because I remember now the soup that night was a thick gazpacho.
Ah,
All right, I'll tell you what, dude.
Indigenous to Cuba.
what?
I got an offer for you, man. I'll make 2 soups. I'll shit in one. You taste it and see if you tell me the difference.
Damn. No, I don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that?
I'm going to go ahead and head that idea off right at the pass and say,
Oh, you
nah.
sure? Okay, man.
No.
Offers on the table, man.
No, thanks. I'm good on that one.
There's a twist to this story that I did not tell you, though.
Ah, the
Oh, what is
twist.
It turns out that he was a triple agent. He intended to go along with it all along, but that night he had a particular bulky poopy that he knew would not mix seamlessly with my gazpacho. So he was going to wait another month and poopy in my gazpacho on gazpacho night. And I found out about this plot. And let's just say, he died an ignoble death.
Wow.
One that would have been much more ignoble than the very faint possibility that I might have died by eating his poopy gazpacho. Let's put it that way.
Damn, brutal.
And say no more about the subject.
Damn. The poopy and the soupy. Well, I was not aware of that. So, but like I said, there's reported to be about 638 attempts on Pidel's life. Maybe more. Who knows?
Much more.
So
Many
TJ, I was saying,
more.
I think you would like this one. I think this one with the CIA plan to do this to TJ, I think TJ actually would be cool with it. So in 1960, the CIA planned to sabotage Castro's speeches by spraying his broadcasting studio with a chemical that would make him suffer, similar type hallucinations to LSD. Other plots included spiking the dictator's cigars with a chemical that would disorient him, hoping he would smoke one before delivering one of his marathon oratory performances.
Confirmed.
So basically, they weren't even attempting to assassinate him with that one, just so much as like make him seem like a goddamn idiot or like he's a lunatic or something. Like he smokes the fucking
have him have an acid trip on TV, basically.
loopy cigar, and he gets on stage. He's like, "I'm a Deb Pro, and I think we need everybody gets a chicken. You're all chicken."
I want you to look, Fidel. I hope you're sitting down because this one's probably a particularly painful and angry moment we're about to have. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Fidel is over it, but I'm not sure if I would ever get over this.
I can
They
only
also
respond
tried-
how I respond, friend.
Yeah. They also tried dusting his shoes with thallium salts, which would have made Castro's iconic beard fall out.
I laugh at this one. Make fun of it all you must. This one was hilarious.
You just can't fucking. I'm surprised because Fidel.
My beard is
I thought with your
immortal.
beard, I thought because that's one of your trademarks, man. I thought that would piss you off, but I guess you saw it coming, so it wasn't like it
Well,
really.
what they do not know is that I actually wash my beard in thallium salts,
Oh,
to
really?
strengthen it. So I actually used their bottle because it helped my beard be soft and touchable and snuggleable by all of their assassin women that I fucked but never got to kill me.
So the LSD-like substance was abandoned because it was too unstable. The cigars, of course, never smoked, and Castro canceled the.
I always missed those LSD days because free LSD,
Oh, shit! I guess maybe you got some bad information there. And he canceled the overseas trip that would have given the opportunity to dust his shoes. I mean, Fidel just knew. It's like, come overseas, come over here. I want to dust your shoes for you. And he's like, no, not dusting my fucking shoes. I don't know my shoes dusted by you.
What do I look like, a rube? I mean, come on.
Yeah, and that's all for this time with Fidel. There's actually plenty of more we could talk about Fidel, but that's all for today.
Adios, amigos.
Good to see you, Fidel. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, stop by anytime, Padel. Missed you around here. That was crazy. It's too bad Paul wasn't here for that.
What happened? What did I miss? My fucking internet went out, and I called the company
dude,
and
you
everything, and they
fucking
said
missed
it was on.
Fidel.
Who?
Fidel.
Oh,
Fidel Castro.
yet another one of these wacky characters that takes over my fucking cam and mic. Great.
Now, TJ, I know that you're aware of this killing for sure.
Yeah. Valerie Solanas.
And I'm pretty sure Paul is too.
The
so this probably is
Zodiac
not-
Killer.
Of course.
Anyway.
So, Paul, are you aware of this assassination attempt?
I have nothing to say about this matter.
Oh shit, Paul, that dude. Paul's
Under
ignorant, man.
under advice of my counsel, I've been instructed to answer any question that you may ask on this matter, with the fact that I plan to invoke my Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination.
Holy shit,
Damn.
that is fucking crazy. So, the summary here. This is just an article we're gonna read, or parts of it. So, moments after Valerie Solanas entered Andy Warhol's sixth-floor office at 33rd Union Square West on June 3rd, 1968, carrying 2 guns and a massive paranoid grudge, their lives would be changed forever. She thought he was going to steal her manuscript. He ignored her calls. It was among the many violent cries that would come to define this tumultuous year in American history. So, TJ, I know you had a little thing that the atheist scum united.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was kind of. So I mean,
Well, we kind
that
of
was
used...
one of those. And obviously, that's one of the things you took a lot of hate for. But wasn't it based on she had a manuscript or something like Scum?
Well, I was just doing I did Atheist Scum United, and I just said, like, yeah, if anyone wants to do a logo, that'd be cool. And someone did a logo that was basically like Valerie Solanas' face with done in that Andre the Giant style. Like, if you remember
The Obey face or whatever.
Yeah, whatever the fuck. And they gave me that. I'm just like, yeah, that looks cool. I'll use that. And then people are like, that's Valerie Solanas. She's crazy. I'm like, that's fine. She's a radical. This is supposed to be radicalism. So I went ahead and used it even after I found out. And it was pretty. She was pretty crazy. I've actually read the Scum Manifesto. It's pretty terrible. But some people still kind of feel like she did break down some boundaries and shit. But her assassination of Andy Warhol, or attempt to assassinate Andy Warhol, pretty interesting story. I remember some of the details of it.
So if we look at this article here, just at the beginning, just Andy Warhol was super famous.
Oh yeah, this is like the height of his
Marilyn
his
Monroe.
fame.
He's fucking famous as shit. So in 1964, he opened the factory, a large warehouse in Midtown Manhattan with foiled-covered, silver-painted walls. The combination studio, laboratory, and party room became a mecca for the counterculture, attracting every walk of life, from the most beautiful people to other artists, celebrities, musicians. It was really like the center of creativity in the 1960s in New York City, Diaz says. Thanks to Warhol's powerful influence, superstars, members of his factory clique like Eddie Sedgwick, Ultraviolet, Viva, Candy Darling, and Nico, appeared in the underground films that he produced at the factory and became famous in their own right. And now we get to the part with Valerie Solanas. Here's a picture of her. She looks mean as shit, dude.
Oh yeah, she was.
Yeah, she just looks like a person that's just filled with fucking hatred for everyone and everything. Like, so she wants to take that fucking mic and just jam it up that dude's fucking asshole.
Probably did.
So her masterwork was the Scum Manifesto, a radical feminist writer and activist and a bit player in the factory universe. Valerie Solanas found an organization called the Society for Cutting Up Men, Scum, of which she was the sole member. Strange organization to call an organization with one member, but I guess technically you can be.
That's not true. She actually had several other members, and they killed a bunch of people in San Francisco under the name of the Zodiac Killer. So,
Oh, really?
yeah, everyone knows that.
Of course.
Yep.
Start calling this alternate history show.
Yeah.
Get the real history.
Learn the truth.
So beginning in 1965, she repeatedly tried to get Warhol to produce a play she had written called Up Your Ass, with little success. Warhol never promised to produce the play, but he gave the perpetually broke Solanas a role in his 1967 film I, a Man, for which he was paid $25. So it's kind of like, oh, okay, I'll give you this bit part. Here's $25, you know, it's okay. You're a little crazy. The play was considered vulgar, humorless, Diaz explains, and even Andy and his crew thought it was a bit too much. So it's too bad. She's just one of those people. You're on the bleeding edge there. You're just on the bleeding edge. Even Andy Warhol's like, I don't want to produce your weird play. I don't care. It just sucks. I mean, more than likely, if we kind of read between the lines here, they probably just she probably brought it up and it was like they read it. It's like, this is dog shit, and no one wanted to say that. So it's like, oh, it's just too out there or whatever. I mean, who the fuck knows?
Yeah, I mean, like, I mean, I read like I said, I read the Scum Manifesto, or at least I read large chunks of it, and I could tell you she was no great writer. So I'm sure her play was probably not great.
I'm assuming, you know, and just, you know how it is, you know, famous people, especially artists, attract a lot of people that are like, look at my painting, you know, and it's fucking stick figures, and it's like, okay, what am I supposed to say? Like, isn't it wonderful? No, it fucking sucks, and I don't know what else to tell you. Sorry. Probably one of those situations. So Solanas' masterwork was her Scum Manifesto, which she wrote between 1965 and 1967. It envisioned a world without men, calling on civic-minded, responsible, thrill-seeking females to overthrow the government, eliminate the money system, institute complete automation, and eliminate the male sex. Damn.
It's about
Sweeping.
fucking time. Finally.
As Brianna Foz writes in her 2004 biography of Solanas, Valerie tried to get Warhol to help her promote Scum, even asking him in a letter in mid-1967 if he'd like to join the Men's Auxiliary, the group of sympathetic men who were, according to the manifesto, working diligently to eliminate themselves. Good job.
Yeah, it sounds good. Let's join.
Solanas thought Warhol was trying to steal her Scum Manifesto. Ooh.
Yeah, because what a fucking delusional bitch, dude. There's no one would want to steal. Like, she's not found any success doing it. Like, the only reason her name is remembered to this day is because she shot someone who was famous.
Yeah, Andy Warhol, who had a fucking goddamn giant studio where he made fucking movies and art and was ultra famous and ultra wealthy, was going to go steal this manuscript. Makes perfect sense.
Oh, this is the path to even greater wealth and riches. The Scum Manifesto.
Here's what makes even less sense. It was already offered to him, so why would he fucking steal it? If he wanted to steal it, he'd been like, look, let me read this over. This is, I'll think about this.
Overthrow the government and kill all men. That's where the real money is.
Yeah, that's where the big dollars are, of course.
That's how you get the big bucks.
And there's so many ways he could have just legitimately stole it. He could have fucking said, this is great, and if he would have loved it, he could have slapped the name Andy Warhol on it and called it fucking the Warhol Manifesto, and no one would have known the fucking difference. So her story she's nuts. So at some point, Warhol misplaced the manuscript of her play. It later surfaced in a forgotten trunk, Diaz says. So basically, like, he took it like, thank you, and then he threw it to the side. But Solanas instead came to believe that he was seeking to steal her intellectual property. In the weeks leading up to the shooting, Solanas called Warhol's office repeatedly with threats and demands about her manuscript until he stopped taking her calls. She obviously knew that Andy would borrow ideas or steal ideas, Diaz says, and she became paranoid that he didn't in fact lose the play, but wanted to keep it, claim it, and make it his own. Oh, it's not good to have a crazy person on your ass.
That no
really
good son of a bitch, dude. Crazy person, my ass. She obviously wrote a fucking masterpiece. Andy Warhol's like, I will take this for myself. Soon I will have all the acclaim. How do you think Andy Warhol got famous? You think he thought of soup cans on his own? No. Every idea he had, he stole. and she was just going to be his latest victim, but she stood up.
So on June 3rd, 1968, Solanas showed up at Warhol's new office. He had moved from the factory in Midtown to more upscale digs earlier that year. With a .32 Beretta, she shot both Warhol and Mario Amaya, the London art gallery owner who he was meeting with, and then left the building. So this is pretty crazy here. Warhol was briefly declared dead and had to wear a surgical corset for the rest of his life.
Damn. Yeah,
So-
it fucked him up pretty bad. I mean, my understanding is he was never the same artistically or anything after that either. Like, it totally fucking changed the course of Andy Warhol's life.
Oh, entirely. Yeah. I don't think there's any denying that. So 2 bullets from Solanas' gun tore through Warhol's stomach, liver, spleen, esophagus, and both lungs.
Oof.
I mean, that's just fucking devastating. It's almost a miracle he survived.
Yeah, I mean, like, you just, like, how do you get shot through all of those major organs and not be dead, you know?
Sorry about that, guys. I don't know if I left the room. It's weird that I was still in here when I came back.
Oh.
My net Swamper net attacked.
Oh,
and-
shit, dude. Shit. Okay. Well, we're just talking about Andy Warhol's.
I thought you were just still
assassination
maintaining your Fifth Amendment right to remain
Yeah.
silent.
Yeah.
Hey, it worked out.
Yeah.
By the way, I still am maintaining that, right?
Yeah, of course.
Of
course. He was briefly declared dead at one point, but doctors were able to revive him. He spent 2 months in the hospital recuperating from various surgeries, and he'll be forced to wear a surgical corset for the rest of his life to hold his organs in place.
Oof.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Horrible.
that kind of sucks.
That's not
That's
great.
pretty horrible.
That's a bad thing.
Amaya wasn't badly wounded, so the London art gallery owner that was with him got off a lot easier. Several hours after the shooting, Solanas approached a policeman in Times Square and handed him her .32 semi-automatic, as well as a .22 revolver. He had too much control over my life, she reportedly told the cop, a headline that was later splashed over the front cover of the New York Daily News. Solanas underwent several rounds of psychiatric evaluation and received a diagnosis of paranoid schizophrenia. What a shock. Something TJ told me about that with schizophrenia, though, is that actually schizophrenic people are, if you compare to the general population, less likely to be violent.
That's usually true.
Not always.
Which kind of leads a lot of people, including myself, to believe, like, I'm not a Valerie Solanas defender or whatever, but if they diagnosed her paranoid schizophrenic, she should not have stood trial for what she did. She should have been sent to a state mental institution or a federal mental institution.
Yeah, probably so.
Because like that's like, if you're a paranoid schizophrenic, that's the definition of not being able to, like, you know what I mean, stand trial due to insanity.
Yeah. I mean, of course. Despite that, though, she was found competent to stand trial and pleaded guilty to assault charges.
She's crazy as a fucking bat, but competent to stand trial.
Yes, a paranoid schizophrenic.
I mean, she literally thought that Andy Warhol, one of the most successful fucking artists of that time period, who's making money hand over fist, who's getting acclaim nonstop, is going to steal her fucking shitty play that no one wants and fucking get even richer off of it. I mean, like, even just listening to that, like, you got to realize, like, she's not all there. She doesn't really understand what's going on in the fucking world to any fucking reasonable extent. And if you read her fucking work, you realize that.
A judge sentenced her to 3 years, including time served, and she was released in late 1971.
I mean, it sounds like the judge at least did take some pity.
Yeah. But even after that, Fa writes, Solanas continued to believe she would change the world with her scum manifesto. As her mental health continued to decline, however, she became increasingly paranoid and unstable. She spent her last years in a single occupancy welfare hotel in San Francisco, where she died alone in 1988.
Yeah, actually, when she was there, she wrote this crazy we might want to do an episode on Valerie Solanas at some point, honestly. She was writing this crazy manuscript. Well, no one knows if it was crazy or not, I guess, but she was, a lot of people think it was a autobiography. But she was writing this thing, this like a second manifesto, like some sort of thing like that. A nurse or somebody had come in there and seen like a huge pile of papers, and Valerie was just hunched over a typewriter clacking away. But no one knows what it was that she was writing, because after she died, her mother literally burned every single possession that Valerie had left behind in the world, including whatever that was.
Damn.
Which is pretty nuts.
I mean,
yes.
what if she read it and she was like, "This is just dangerous fucking lunacy shit"?
I mean, there's a good chance that it was, but yeah,
of course,
you're probably you could be right about that, because the Scum Manifesto, in and of itself, already was that. So yeah, it's probably. I mean, like, if she deteriorated mentally after that point and was writing something new, I can't even imagine how fucking violent it might have been.
So, I mean, strangely, in a way, she was ultimately responsible for his death, though. Obviously, as we discussed before, the shooting had a huge impact on his life.
Yeah.
I mean, he had to wear a fucking surgical corset the rest of his life that he fucking lived. He obviously became more guarded, abandoning much of his filmmaking and more controversial art, and focusing more on business. Founding what became Interview magazine in 1969. His work basically just says it shifted more towards like death and violence as a theme. Post-shooting, he revisited the theme of death, painting a series of skulls and one of guns, a weapon with which he had now intensely personal connection. I said I wasn't creative since I was shot, because after that I stopped seeing creepy people, Warhol wrote in his diary in November 1978. Unfortunately for him, this gave him an intense fear of hospitals. So after the shooting, it intensified his fear and loathing of hospitals, though he embraced alternative health treatments like healing crystals. Yes, that's going to keep you safe. The healing crystals, the powers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was kind of like, that was a sad part about the movie The Man on the Moon, about Andy Kaufman, where he goes to the shaman or whatever, or the guru. And
it just goes to show you that even, I mean, like, I guess there was no, the mainstream medical treatment wasn't helping him either, but the fact that so many people fall for that kind of shit is pretty lame.
That's just sad, but I mean, you can understand why.
For Andy, it was like a last stop for him.
That's true. There's lots of guys, though, that relied on that shit before they relied on conventional medicine, and as a result are dead. So,
of course. I mean, he's doing more of the Hail Mary, of course, whereas these other guys are like, this is their go-to. The reticence proved fatal on February 21st, 1987, when Warhol died of cardiac arrest suffered after gallbladder surgery, a procedure that he had delayed several years due to his fear of hospitals. He could have gotten the surgery scheduled and done earlier had he been more preventative about his health, Diaz says, but until the end, he avoided hospitals. He was always nervous about being sick. I think death always made him nervous, but of course, having almost died once really escalated that. So, yeah, of course, naturally. But she ultimately fucking killed him.
So we're ending with a successful assassin. That was really more of a delayed assassination.
Yeah, but I count it though. I think it counts because it didn't accomplish what it
destroyed
intended.
him. Yeah, she destroyed him utterly for the rest of his life. Clearly, I mean, he still went on. I mean, I think there's obviously like a totally different. I mean, like his life was completely different. He was like hot and hip. He had he's making movies, doing all this shit that was like cutting edge in the fucking biggest city in the United States. And then it's kind of just like, I'm going to have a magazine and I don't want to be around people who are weird and I don't trust anybody.
Yep.
I mean, and your health and having your health, I mean, his health taken away, being perfectly healthy to just basically having to wear a fucking corset to keep your organs in place. That's just someone that, I mean, like, I don't think many people would be able to handle it. It just destroys your life as you know it, and you have to have this new.
Some of the skulls he did are pretty cool, though. I will say.
Yeah.
Some of the imagery he came up with after that was pretty cool. Like But yeah, I think it totally changed the trajectory of his life and probably ultimately led to his death. So yeah, I'd say Valerie Solanas was actually sort of in a way successful at what she attempted to do.
Playing the long game.
Who was you guys' favorite failed assassin tonight?
Still the first guy that's up there right now.
Yeah, I really love this guy too. I love they got the shit beat out of him.
It was a simple.
Yeah.
It's a simple story. It's a direct story. Just like, fuck you, Andrew. Oh shit, it doesn't work. Okay, I got to back up. Oh shit, it don't work either. Ow, ow, ow.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know. It's classic. I can't help but love it. But honestly, I don't know. Maybe my favorite, not my favorite attempted assassin, but my favorite assassination attempt is still always, it's always going to be the fucking shell. It's always going to be like,
Yeah, the conch shell, dude.
We'll paint it up
definitely
real
Samuel Bick,
pretty.
too. That's Samuel Bick's story is just so insane too. That's definitely one that jumps out to me as well.
But that one jumps out more because of Paul's performance for me than it did.
I mean,
the
yeah,
story.
for
But
sure.
The story's interesting, but you know.
Yeah, I like his story. Like, I don't know. He's a very human character to me. I can empathize with the things that he was pissed off about, obviously.
I think a lot of people can.
I'll tell you the genesis of this episode as we wrap it up was like, I just thought about assassinations and I'm like, a lot of assassinations are really weird and done by really weird people. So it's kind of like, it just started off as assassinations are weird and kind of just grew from there.
I kind of liked Assassin Granny, too.
Yeah, she was fun.
Yeah.
I like her. She seems like she'd like, you know, I'm going to kill the president and I'm going to bake you some cookies. You know, it's like, yeah, all right.
He was appointed. No one elected him. I'm taking him out. All right.
He's
like,
not.
okay,
He's not the legitimate leader of my country. I'm going to kill him. It's like, all right, cool. I like
Damn,
you,
Granny. You're hardcore, Grandma. Can I get one of those cookies before you go kill the president?
Yeah, please.
Of course, dearie. But don't have too many. Your tummy will get upset before dinner. Bye-bye now. All right. Most awesome granny that nobody ever had except the people whose granny she is, hopefully.
Maybe.
Does she have any grandchildren?
Probably not. It didn't say anything about progeny, but you know.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a shame. That is what she kind of paid the price for there.
I guess.
She
Yeah, she
definitely
was.
had to pay that
She
fucking
spent most of her
fee, right?
time, most of her life in jail because, you know.
Yeah. She ain't having them now. I can tell you that.
Yep.
No.
That womb is
Exactly.
old and withered now.
She looked like somebody fucking put Angela Lansbury now in age makeup. You know what I mean? She was fucking old.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. That happened like 40 years ago in 2015.
She looked like the
so.
Dame Judi Dench in extreme age makeup. You know what I mean?
I don't think she didn't look that fucking old. What the fuck?
That's pretty damn old, dude. I don't know.
Go back to her. She don't look that fucking old. That's extreme.
It's pretty fucking old, dude. She's fucking age. She looked older than the hills. She looked like the best granny ever. Look at her. She looks like.
If they did this, it would destroy her.
I mean, she don't fucking look that old, man. I mean,
She
you know.
looks pretty fucking old.
She's closing her eyes,
PJ.
thinking about baking some cookies, dude.
I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
dude.
I've definitely seen some older looking people. How old is she there?
I've seen some younger looking people too. A lot of younger looking people.
That's true.
Not so many older looking people though.
I don't know, man. I feel like how old was she there, Scotty? Because my granny died, my dad's mom anyway, died when she was like in her 70s, and I feel like she looked way older than this bitch. Sarah Jane.
I mean, this lady is in like fucking studio makeup. You got to realize.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
She was born in 1930, so her age now, she's still alive. She's 90 years old.
Cool.
Yep.
We need to
She's
get her-
90. So
we
in,
need to get her on
I
this
told you
shit.
she was older than the fucking hills, dude.
We need to get her on this show before she croaks.
I mean, damn, for being that fucking old, yeah, she has it pretty well together there.
I
At that
actually
point,
had that
she's-
thought about reaching
She's
out. to this
85
chick.
here.
Yeah.
Like I actually had that thought about having like maybe reaching out to this chick and seeing if we could get her on the show. Because I think she'd be an interesting interview, but what we would want to talk to her about would get us arrested, probably.
No, it wouldn't, Paul. You know,
Exactly.
God,
you're so
Paul.
silly,
Probably
Paul.
be a violation of
You're
her
s-
probation, too.
Paul, you're a silly boy, and it's the show. The show is over now. Paul.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Paul starts like,
Thanks
I'd
to
like
you.
to have that conversation. Well, guys, the show is over.
Anyway, time to be hitting that old dusty trail, Padre.
Yep, I've got to go, Paul.
Oops, I did a treason, guys. Gotta go. There's some guys in black suits here. They look real mean.
Yeah, the van's here. See you guys later. The flower van showed up.
Nice knowing.
Deep fat fried. Deep fat fried.